The game icon appeared, Dragon Slayer Academy, an RPG where players attend the academy. Of course, it would not be complete without monsters on the front lines. Kim Ho confidently asserted his place. I have been in this game for years, ranked number 1 on the leaderboard. The system also displayed his status, strongest support in the game. The monsters charged at the players like arrows fired from a bow. One of the creatures let out a ferocious roar, as if it wanted to devour the players whole. The main character swung his sword to protect everyone, Saint Lee Seo's rank. The red-haired girl also joined in to take down the stubborn monsters, Ruby Tower Lord Hong Hyuna's rank. A brave swordsman lunged at the vicious monster. Johan's sharp blade effortlessly split it in two. The one being introduced was none other than Black Knight Go Johan's rank. Kim Ho cheerfully left with the other players, but my favorite feature is the main character was lucky enough to obtain a treasure in the cave, found it. Its purpose was briefly stated, bloodline stone, used to upgrade vampires. Kim Ho did not keep it for himself. He shared it with others. Here, Carmilla. His goal was singular, to raise heroes. He made a bolder decision than anyone else, choosing NPC students who were still rookies from the academy to raise as heroes, take them, and train them into S-rank heroes, the pinnacle of the pinnacle. Carmilla slowly embedded the stone into her body to enhance her strength. Kim Ho felt somewhat reassured, and finally, she had grown stronger than before, Queen Vampire Carmilla S-rank. He took pride in his accomplishment, my 1000th S-rank. Kim Ho stretched to relax his muscles. Now then, what is next? After double-checking, the main character took off his headphones, no more tasks left. Kim Ho focused intently on the computer screen. I have upgraded all the classes to S-rank. Repeated a lot, maybe I should try leveling up some average ones. He was quite surprised when the screen displayed a notification at this hour, rare, but not impossible. Kim Ho's eyes lit up in astonishment. The console announced his current achievement, S-rank number 1000 graduated. You have reached a legendary milestone no one has ever achieved. A special quest has been activated. He could not believe his eyes. Wait. There is a quest like this too, the system continued. Prevent the apocalypse, difficulty, X-rank, warning. Kim Ho felt more thrilled than ever. X-rank, I thought S was the highest. Does that mean there are X-rank items too? And X-rank heroes? Kim Ho immediately clicked. If there is new content, why hesitate? I might as well dive in. The system sent him a notification, commence quest. He froze on the spot as the surroundings shifted. This forest? No way. Is this really in the game? So the reincarnation quest actually pulled me straight into the game itself. Who would have guessed? A single glance was enough for him to figure it out, but this looks like the tutorial forest. So I had to grind from the beginning. Kim Ho struggled to put his feelings into words. First, the status window. The system displayed his abilities. Kim Ho, no skills, no traits, no equipment. He was furious but helpless, seriously, wiped clean. No reincarnation privileges or anything, damn this game. At the same time, a message popped up, reincarnation quest rewards granted. Trait, copy, acquired. Trait, amplify F, acquired. Even he could not understand what was happening. What is this? A reincarnation reward. Kim Ho's anger eased a little thanks to the unexpected prize, that is more like it. Levels lost, but I can grind them back, at least I have a foundation. And there is a reward too. The system quickly assigned his first quest, Tutorial 1, survive for 10 minutes. Reward, Dragon Slayer Academy Starter Set. Time remaining, 9 minutes 56 seconds. Kim Ho recalled the moment vividly. A tutorial quest. I thought it would be just some weak monsters. But somehow, they do not feel weak at all. He looked up at the sky, trying to see what was blocking the sunlight. It was not hard for Kim Ho to identify the creature appearing before him, a dragon. Only now did he feel sheer panic, shooting forward like an arrow. 2 bosses right at the start of the tutorial. Is this X difficulty? Better get away first. Their sheer power forced him to be cautious. If I get caught, I will be dead before I can even react. He forced himself to stay calm, thinking of a way to handle this dangerous situation. Wait, is not this the perfect moment to try out the copy trait? Kim Ho analyzed the situation based on his knowledge. To copy a trait, I need to witness the action. More importantly, I had to identify the target's name and level. Even with the devastating explosion occurring, he remained confident. This should be easy. The image of a fire dragon appeared in Kim Ho's mind. The system introduced a new attribute, target trait, S-rank elemental resistance added. He was ecstatic about this new ability. Nice, got it. I did not expect to copy an S-rank trait this early. The info panel updated further. S-rank elemental resistance greatly reduces damage from all elements. Kim Ho casually brushed a leaf off his shoulder onto the ground. I would like to get another skill, but without a mana core, I can't activate anything. One S-rank trait is already more than enough. He could not help but notice the odd natural phenomenon. Why is the wind blowing the wrong way? The two dragons radiated an overwhelming surge of energy. Kim Ho quickly turned around while fleeing. That is the breath attack. The deadliest move a dragon has. He could not help but worry about his own survival, even with elemental resistance. There was nothing left for Kim Ho but to run like crazy as the fire dragon and the thunder dragon charged toward him. At this distance, I am toast. Fortunately, the console sent him some good news. Tutorial completed. Rewards: Dragon Slayer Academy uniform, student card, train ticket. Tutorial 2: Board the train to Dragon Slayer Academy. Everyone had been waiting eagerly. The train to Dragon Slayer Academy is departing. Someone addressed the passengers. Excuse me, could the young lady stand up for a moment? Hyunwoo hoped the passenger would understand. Seats are full, may I sit here? He did not receive a response from the girl. Has the young lady fallen asleep? Kim Ho stepped onto the train, looking flustered. Sorry for waking her. I will find another seat. Are all seats taken? Hyunwoo did not know how to act in this awkward situation. Not exactly. She has not said anything. Yane awoke, dazed and confused, unsure of what was happening. The main character politely asked the silver-haired girl, may I sit here? Yane cheerfully agreed, sure. Kim Ho quickly introduced himself to his new companion. Thanks, I am Kim Ho. He felt like an extra in the train car. The skilled sharpshooter said her name coldly, Seo Yane. He wanted to help Hyunwoo avoid embarrassment. You can sit too, right? The swordsman introduced himself. Thanks, my name is Go Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo let out a sigh of relief. Much obliged. I almost had to stand the entire ride. I will make sure to repay you, Kim Hung. Kim Ho was not the least bit surprised. Classic martial hero lines, speaking like a true protagonist. Why are you late? Hyunwoo excitedly shared his experience. On the way here, I saw two ancient dragons. It was so unexpected, I got lost. Kim Ho shivered at the memory. Same here. I nearly died. The engine's roar signaled the train's departure. We are moving. He could only keep his thoughts to himself, unable to share them. Dragon Slayer Academy. The place I have visited countless times whenever a new hero arrived. I know everything here inside out, familiar to the point of boredom, but this time, something's different. The two new companions he had just met, Go Hyunwoo, Seo Yane. He carefully observed his surroundings, every student and instructor. All faces I have never seen before. Kim Ho felt it was completely reasonable to prepare for a new situation. The setup may be familiar, but the characters have changed. That means upcoming events and quests could be different. I need to pay attention to what has changed. He felt slightly annoyed but did not voice it. And that girl, she has been staring at me this whole time. Kim Ho had already noticed. Seo Yane has a special eye. She converts everything she sees into stats. The main character pulled out a clear example. For instance, the guy in front of us has a familiar status window. The system transmitted the information. Skill status: Wind Heaven Blade Technique D, Sword Trait C, Core E. According to Yane's assessment, pretty average. She felt puzzled by Kim Ho's ability, but Kim Ho, he is different. Even the system could not update his information. Copy status, amplify. Yane thought to herself, he is special. I can't even count how many status windows like that I have seen. Suddenly, he asked bluntly, what are you staring at? The silver-haired girl remembered her teacher's advice. If you are interested in someone, do something kind for them. Yane reached for the suitcase under the desk. The sharpshooter focused her attention on the pack of cookies. Yane peeled one off and offered it to Kim Ho. Want one? He accepted the cookie from her hand. Thanks. Kim Ho tried to appear friendly. Homemade, not bad at all. He was curious about the weapon Hyunwoo carried. Go Hyunwoo, can I ask? That big thing next to you, is that a long sword? Hyunwoo had nothing to hide from Kim Ho. You noticed, huh? The swordsman explained why the sword looked the way it did. It is a family heirloom from my clan. Unfortunately, I am not yet qualified to break the seal, so this is how it looks for now. Hyunwoo was always confident in his abilities. Until that time comes, this iron sword will be my companion. Don't worry, I have yet to meet an opponent it could not handle. The main character was not in a hurry. I see. Though it might be better to find a more reliable weapon. Byung-chul suddenly popped in to join the conversation. Hey everyone, mind if I hang around here for a bit? They welcomed the newcomer enthusiastically. Not at all, go ahead. The orange-haired boy smiled brightly. Thanks a lot, it is just for a little while. Kim Ho was already familiar with Byung-chul. I did not hear your footsteps. I think I know who you are. Why not just sit down instead of running around? Byung-chul kept scratching his head. You caught me. The truth is, it turned out Byung-chul had come to introduce his business. Call Shin Byung-chul for anything Dragon Slayer Academy delivery service. Just pay, and we will get whatever you want. Kim Ho was not fully convinced. Anything at all, Byung-chul confidently affirmed, of course. Kim Ho wanted to be sure before taking action, even if it goes against the school rules. The orange-haired boy remained bold. Exactly, just call me. The main character easily guessed, and now you are being chased because of your delivery service. Byung-chul admitted the truth. Yeah. That is right. He peeked outside, trying to ease his embarrassment. That obvious, huh? Kim Ho observed every move Byung-chul made. You keep looking out the window like someone's chasing you. The orange-haired boy hid behind the door, as if avoiding someone. I will explain later. Byung-chul pressed his face against the glass, startled as he noticed something approaching. Chun-yi searched through every train car. Come out quickly, we know where you are. The orange-haired boy panicked, unsure what to do. The disciplinary committee's here already, I am doomed. Byung-chul was well aware of their identities. The disciplinary committee maintains order around the academy. Members are first-year students who enroll early, then get assigned to manage the train. Like right now. She wanted to reclaim something that did not belong to him. Give back what is not yours. Byung-chul trembled from the electric shock, acting like the masters come to collect a debt. It was the first time the main character had witnessed this energy firsthand. A lightning mage, rare sight. Kim Ho decided to use the cookie in his hand to avoid drawing attention. My copy trait still has room. Always active, good for emergencies. The moment he tossed the cookie to the ground, Byung-chul sprayed glue. This is bad. I am terrible at close combat. Chun-yi did not hesitate to remove her gloves again, still not giving up. Then I will take you down. Lightning flared as she snapped her fingers. Byung-chul quickly backed away before the attack struck. Hummingbird. He covered his face, not daring to open his eyes. Kim Ho extended his hand as if to grab it. The magic landed squarely in his palm. The hummingbird was firmly held by the main character, unable to escape. Chun-yi, sharp-eyed, noticed someone else standing behind him, another accomplice. Kim Ho stepped out of the train car. Not exactly. He cleverly made an excuse to avoid unnecessary trouble. That is my cookie, you made me drop it. The lightning mage herself also approached to deal with the situation. Cookie. The status panel updated. You have learned hummingbird support magic. Kim Ho had clear evidence. You guys made me drop my cookie. It was so good, and now I am annoyed. GM Johan immediately caught on, already ready to intervene. Framiness. Don't blame us if the sea tastes salty next time when we are being generous and you refuse to step aside. Hyunwoo stood up to defend Kim Ho. Please be careful. If you draw your swords, I won't just sit here. Byung-chul looked flustered at the tense atmosphere, caught between the disciplinary committee and Kim Ho's new friends. Chun-yi, unwilling to escalate the situation, decided to tolerate it. Wait a moment. We will give you a coupon for dessert at the academy cafeteria. Is that acceptable? The main character was satisfied with this resolution. Fine, that works. The orange-haired boy trembled facing the lightning magic. Wait. What about me? Kim Ho had no interest in interfering. Deal with it yourself. Now he had gained a new power, thanks for the skill. The system updated his info. Copied skill 1-on-1. 1. Hummingbird E copied trait 1-on-1. 1. S-rank elemental resistance. She retrieved the item that did not belong to Byung-chul. You should steal the station worker's wig instead. This joke went too far. Kim Ho could not defend him. He really deserves a hit for that. Chun-yi kindly advised him. I suggest staying out of Shin Byung-chul's affairs. Kim Ho waved goodbye to the lightning mage. I will handle that myself. Have fun at work. GM Johan did not forget to glance at the main character. I remember your face now. Hyunwoo was delighted to meet them. So this really is the disciplinary committee. Unexpectedly, Byung-chul was still able to smile. Yeah. Elite among elites. The one who just beat me with the hummingbird is Song Chun-yi. The swordsman could not confirm. Is that song from the Topaz Magic Tower? The orange-haired boy explained to Hyunwoo. Yes, that is her. Song Chunyi is the granddaughter of the Lightning Emperor, Song Kyungwik. The other three are not to be underestimated either. Byungchul explained why he spoke that way. Jo Byuk is a disciple of the Fist King. Han Somi is a student of the Sword Empress, and the sole heir of the Golden Lotus Pavilion. GM Johan, not exactly on the same level as the others, but still formidable. He bid them farewell before leaving. It was fun meeting you guys. Next time, remember to say hi. Bye-bye. The swordsman could hardly believe it, still full of spirit, as always. Hyunwoo was curious about the earlier remark, so Kim Hung really got involved over a cookie. Kim Ho calmly explained, it is because she is a rare lightning mage. I was just curious. Just by looking, Hyunwoo could tell. Weren't you the one who blocked an attack from Miss Song just now? The main character asked directly. How well do you know the hummingbird move? Hyunwoo admitted honestly, this is the first time I have seen it. The swordsman analyzed it in surprising detail. It is so fast the eye can barely follow. Instead of causing damage, it is mainly used to neutralize or paralyze the target. Kim Ho agreed but still felt unsatisfied. That is only half of it. Hyunwoo asked back, what about the other half? Kim Ho easily replicated the newly copied magic. It is called hummingbird because it mimics how a hummingbird flies. Kim Ho, with his deep understanding, explained, the effectiveness varies depending on the user's skill. By observing the bird's movements, you can gauge the ability behind it. The main character recalled the scene vividly. If Song Chunyi were truly experienced, the moment I intervened, the hummingbird would have veered in a different direction. It seemed Kim Ho had already arrived at the answer, but it flew straight into my hands, which means her control or real combat experience is still lacking. He was suddenly absorbing new insights, just one move, and there is this much information. He did not reveal everything. Of course, there is more than that. Kim Ho was determined not to let talent slip away. She turned an E-rank spell into D-rank level power. Either that is a strong trait, or she naturally has a large mana pool. Either way, she is the Lightning Emperor's granddaughter, definitely a recruit for the list. Hyunwoo felt destiny had played its hand. We have just met, yet I have learned so much. This must be fate. He was eager to share his knowledge with others. Fate might be a bit much if you ask. I will guide you through it. He grew even more appreciative of Kim Ho. You are so generous. If you ever need help, just ask me, I will do my best. Kim Ho seemed to have something else in mind. Really? Then come over here with me. Oh, but first, may I borrow a coin? Hyunwoo could hardly believe his ears. Huh. Kim Ho yanked the dust cover off. The machine had not been operational. He seemed like he owned the place. Knowing everything about it, this train was originally a sightseeing train. This section used to be a casino. It is a bit messy here. Hyunwoo noticed Kim Ho slipping a coin into the machine, but, is not that broken? Kim Ho, fully aware, still went through with it, probably. The machine activated, much to his surprise. Maybe not. Kim Ho restarted it in the blink of an eye. Hidden event, this slot machine appeared to be broken. He gripped the lever tightly in his hand. Gotta make use of it immediately. A bottle rolled out from the machine. Both Kim Ho and Hyunwoo shared the same thought, missed it. We were not really expecting anything anyway. Hyunwoo felt anxious at Kim Ho's actions. Why are you even here? Kim Ho, aware of the consequences, stubbornly followed through. Technically, this goes against school rules. The issue is not using the machine, it is that an item came out. Hyunwoo hesitated. So, can I just watch? Kim Ho's confidence seemed unshakable. Missed again. Yeah, it is fine. The disciplinary committee does not patrol here much anyway, they're probably checking elsewhere. So no worries. Suddenly, Somi appeared behind them without making a sound. Hey, what are you two doing here? The speaker was Han Somi, a first-year member of the disciplinary committee. Hyunwoo could hardly remain calm. We are in trouble. It is like running into Cao Cao himself. She did not want her classmates to get in trouble, so she came to warn them. Students are not allowed to touch that. Violating the rules will cost you points. Kim Ho decided to team up with Hyunwoo. Can you stall for me? The young swordsman understood immediately. I will try. I also want to test a few things. Somi used psychological pressure to make him nervous. Helping someone break the rules counts as a violation too. You know that, right? Hyunwoo ignored her warning. This is my choice. He hoped to learn more from Somi. I heard that Miss Han learned her sword techniques from the Sword Empress. Could I have the honor of observing your skills? The student of the Sword Empress had not expected Hyunwoo to know about her. "What is your name?" The young swordsman remained humble. "I am Go Hyun-woo, pleased to meet you." She shouted and lunged toward Hyun-woo. Very well. He struggled to block the magic aimed directly at him with his sword. Somi narrowly avoided Hyun-woo's attack. She was skeptical of fate as the weapon bounced back into her hands. Using a grounded stance, Somi pushed forward with force. Kim Ho evaluated the situation realistically, in terms of internal strength. He is weaker. His internal core still has gaps. He refused to give up easily, but we can't give up yet. There is still a lot of potential. The system highlighted the technique being used, using amplification. The system empowered Hyun-woo further. Target's internal core trait upgraded from E to C. Duration, 58 seconds. Cooldown, 59 minutes 58 seconds. Kim Ho placed his trust in him. Hold them off for 1 minute. Sparks flew as their weapons clashed. The battle between him and Somi was tense, but the spell duration from the system was ticking down. Effect, 19 seconds. Effect, 15 seconds. Kim Ho turned to check on Hyun-woo, and the display showed, effect, 14 seconds. He had his own thoughts. Slot machines are the signature feature of casinos. Normally, no one wants to waste coins gambling, but they do not know. Even though the outcome was not ideal, Kim Ho remained unbothered. This machine has an insurance system, it hits the ceiling. He carefully calculated while playing the slot machine, starting with 5 silver coins. This is the 5th spin. His face lit up as he retrieved a silver coin from the swordsman. Here we go, another borrowed silver coin. Past experience helped him achieve his goal. The machine will definitely give the highest reward on the 6th spin. Jackpot probability, 100%. The item's effects were listed in detail: dark ice crystal, C rank. Freezing cold to the touch. Handle with care. Warning, this item can be deadly. Before Kim Ho could celebrate, he was startled as Somi rushed in to attack. I got it. Hyun-woo defended him, paying no mind to his cracked sword. Not over yet. Just then, the system sent a notification. Effect, 1 second. Kim Ho seized the moment and swallowed the dark ice crystal. That should do it. Somi's eyes widened in shock at his reckless action. You are going to eat that. The system confirmed the effect. Frozen status effect applied. He panicked slightly and called out, Kim. Multiple notifications popped up simultaneously. Frozen status effect applied. He returned to normal, calm and composed. All good. Hyun-woo and Somi exclaimed in unison, huh. A question arose for Kim Ho. So what exactly is that vial? Main smiled brightly. Basically, it is a type of elixir. Drinking it boosts your mana. Kim Ho was not afraid at all. He boldly ingested it, an insurance item for the 6th spin, the dark ice crystal. For a new player, this would be deadly. Even a small dose could freeze someone solid. Naturally, I am the exception thanks to my S-rank elemental resistance. The system kept processing data. Frozen status effect applied. Frozen status effect removed. Main was satisfied with its effect. The cold dissipates, and the energy within the dark ice crystal gradually grows inside me. Hyun-woo gently asked Somi, Miss Han, are you okay? The Sword Empress's student hesitated. Not exactly. Kim Ho did not trust her reaction. She sees everything. Only a fool would believe her. The young swordsman expressed his gratitude. Helping you, Kim Hung, makes me happy. Thanks to you, I got to spar with Miss Han and even got some good loot. Kim Ho felt he still owed Hyun-woo. You have helped me enough, but lend me 1 more silver coin. Hyun-woo eagerly wanted to learn more. If you do not mind, could you show me the technique again? Kim Ho skillfully declined to avoid disappointing him. Next time. It needs time to recharge, and I can't reveal everything yet. The cooldown is still an hour. Yane woke up while they were talking, understanding Kim Ho's reasoning. Got it. A technique that's strong must have its conditions. Main planned to share more when appropriate. The day's still long. There'll be a chance to use it again. A sound echoed through the train car, approaching destination. The scenery outside was breathtaking. Dungeon Island, the stop for this train. The name carried historical weight, named after the number of dungeons on the island. In the past, it was a lawless place crawling with criminals. The story unfolded with unexpected drama. One day, the first hero and dragon slayer set foot on the island. He cleared out the criminals, conquered every dungeon, built a city, and founded the academy. That is how the Dragon Slayer Academy came to be. A reminder rang out from outside. First years, this way. Someone shouted loudly to guide the new students, don't go that way, don't follow the upperclassmen. Hyun-woo enjoyed the lively atmosphere. What a ruckus. A black-haired girl showed her annoyance as a classmate's pet bothered her. keep it under control. Kim Ho was excited exploring the school grounds. It really is crowded here. As soon as he entered the academy, someone approached him. Excuse me. Chun-Yi spoke with a serious tone, requesting his cooperation. Please come with us for a moment. They led him to the student disciplinary office, where the lightning mage treated her classmates politely. Have a seat. Kim Ho, as always, was fully aware of the situation. There is only one room in the disciplinary committee. Anyone who enters will emerge as someone else. That is the true nature of the room. The head of the disciplinary committee only wanted to confirm the incident. I heard you ate something from the slot machine. Seems like there is no problem. The scanner did not detect anything. Kim Ho had already calculated everything in advance. Of course, the freezing effect wore off ages ago. Sihun, still cautious due to lack of concrete evidence, added. Seems like it is not a prohibited item. He kindly reminded Kim Ho, having seen too many cases like him. But Kim Ho, listen carefully. I do not know if you are aware, but defying the disciplinary committee's orders is punishable. I am Oh Sihun, 3rd year, head of the disciplinary committee at the Dragon Slayer Academy. Sihun decided to pardon him this time, since no one was hurt and this is your first violation, you won't be held accountable. But I hope this is the last time I had to see you here. Kim Ho politely acknowledged. Yes, sir. Sihun added in a friendly tone. Alright then, go ahead and have a good semester. Kim Ho maintained his respectful demeanor. Yes, sir. It did not take much for the Hell Cleaver to notice Chun-Hai's intent. Seems like you do not quite like him, Chun-Yi. She found it hard to trust Kim Ho. He looks suspicious no matter how you see it. If the target was not a banned item, there'd be no reason to use the machine. And no reason to destroy all evidence right on the spot. Sihun agreed with Chun-Hai's reasoning. We are thinking along the same lines. The lightning mage was determined to catch him. He has acquired an illicit skill at an advanced level. A proper investigation would surely expose him. Kim Ho nodded lightly. Yeah, maybe. Sihun questioned himself, but what if we find nothing? If we go as far as an investigation and still come up empty? What do we do next? Chun-Yi seemed unsure. That. She quickly bowed to show her remorse. I apologize, I acted hastily. Sihun reassured her without blame. Chun-Yi, I know you are very enthusiastic, but in situations like this, we need to take our time and assess the circumstances. He advised her not to overthink, just continue your work. You do not want to be late for the enrollment ceremony now. Kim Ho felt pleased that Hyunwoo remembered him. Thanks for saving me a seat. The system notified him. Guide 3 completed. You attended the enrollment ceremony on time. Reward, E-rank weapon selection ticket, 5 silver coins. Kim Ho valued the small reward. An E-rank weapon is better than nothing, and I even get back the silver I spent on the slot machine. Whispers filled the enrollment hall. There he is. Students murmured right in front of the senior. Is that the principal? He does not look impressive, but I heard he once led a Dragon Slayer team. Usually, the principal of Dragon Slayer Academy is a retired hero. Everyone knew the academy's rules. The title of hero is awarded to only one person among countless S-rank fighters. Just one. He may not look it, but inside him is immense power. Though has not the saint rejected him 4 times already? Someone added. No, 5 times. He was just rejected again. Kim Ho could only mutter to himself, wow. The principal awkwardly scratched his head. Welcome, new students. We sincerely congratulate all of you on joining Dragon Slayer Academy. The disciplinary committee listened attentively to his words. Dragon Slayer Academy was founded long ago, true to its name, to train students for battle against dragons and to become dragon slayers. Nari and Byungchul did not pay much attention to the principal's introduction. The first hero emphasized the word slayer in the academy's name. You need to truly understand what slayer means. If you have never slain an orge, you can't be called a dragon slayer. The principal elaborated to make it easier for the new students to understand what it means to slay. Anyone who has not killed a dragon cannot be called a dragon slayer. Kim Ho was already bored. Oh man, this is so long. It seemed the principal was speaking more to himself than anyone else. Taking a life is the destiny and essence of a slayer. Don't deny this truth. Ask yourself why you want to kill. Why you wish to take another being's life. I hope all of you find your answer before graduation. One more thing. The students groaned in unison. Enough already, oh man. This is giving us a headache. The principal jolted slightly, realizing he would gone over time. I hope all of you become true heroes here at Dragon Slayer Academy. That is all. Hyunwoo maintained his cheerful attitude. That was a really meaningful speech. But he could not hold back his impatience. "Don't you get bored listening to this?" the swordsman, too accustomed to lectures, replied without hesitation. "Bored, every single word is priceless wisdom. My master used to preach these teachings every single day." Kim Ho froze at the reply. "You had to listen to that every day?" The teacher stepped up to make an important announcement. "Attention, the list of banned items has been updated this year. Anyone caught possessing these items will face disciplinary action. And the items will be confiscated." Her words hit a nerve with many students below. Unless otherwise notified, all new students are only allowed to practice on the ground floor of the dungeon building. Be careful if you go to lower floors without permission. Your family, your magic tower, or your guild will face consequences. Follow the rules to avoid trouble. She reminded them of their responsibility. A moment of curiosity can bring disaster to everyone. Know the rules clearly and follow them properly to avoid punishment. The enrollment ceremony ends here. All students return to the dormitory in time for dinner. Yane, impatient with the long-winded explanation, muttered, "Finally. Straight to the point." A familiar voice rang out, startling Kim Ho and Hyunwoo. "Come on, let us eat." Hyunwoo glanced at him, concerned about a mark on his face. "Shin-hung, what happened to your cheek?" Byung-chul shrugged it off, even though the culprit was right behind him. Just a small accident." Byung-chul grinned, his eyes crinkling with amusement. "Make sure to eat well and fill your stomach." Kim Ho, confused, asked, "Why?" Byung-chul's explanation did not clarify much. "Tomorrow's the first day of classes. It is a big deal." That night, in the male dormitory, Hyunwoo waved at Kim Ho. "Lucky us. Rooms next to each other." Coincidence or fate? Main did not get excited. "I do not really care much." The swordsman sent a good night greeting to Kim Ho. "Sleep well, Kim Hung." But Kim Ho was already thinking ahead. "Sleep, there is no time for that yet." He neatly hung his clothes in the closet, while Main sat cross-legged on the bed, focusing his attention. Finally, some free time. The energy radiating from Kim Ho's palm. "Then I have to form the core." The system explained the element as if it were the heart of the body. To use any skill, whether magic or internal energy, you need a source of power. That is the role of the core. Based on the information he had previously gathered, Main felt even more confident. "This is my first time trying it outside the game, but I already knew what to do. I absorbed the ice crystal, so I have enough mana." Kim Ho encouraged himself. "I can do this." Meanwhile, in Go Hyunwoo's room, the swordsman sat on the floor in quiet meditation, saying nothing. The memory of the previous battle still weighed heavily on his mind. "Han Somi is the strongest opponent I have faced since leaving the mountains. Even though both of us held back during the duel, if we had gone all out, the outcome would have been unpredictable." Hyunwoo understood his own limits clearly. "Without Kim Ho's support, I could have been defeated the moment my iron sword broke." The swordsman's assessment was entirely accurate. Master, that is the word I would use to describe Kim Ho. From the very first meeting, there is a calmness that only the truly strong possess, eyes that seem to see through everything. Hyunwoo's mind was occupied solely with the family sword resting in the corner of the room. Should I ask him for help? After a moment's thought, he shook his head. "No, I can't. He is my first true friend." Determined to rely on himself, Hyunwoo resolved, "I will give it my all on my own first." The next day, the classroom was already bustling with noise. The silver-haired girl, having just woken, hurried to class. "Good morning." Hyunwoo, ever considerate of his friends, remarked, "You are here. I was worried you would oversleep." Kim Ho's prediction proved accurate. She must have overslept. The whole class fell into a state of confusion. "Where's the teacher?" The bell rang, but no one's here yet. "Who is the homeroom teacher? This is so careless." The blonde girl spotted the teacher's figure approaching. "Here he comes." Immediately, the students were stunned as a man glided past the desks. Sudok made a formal introduction. "Judging by your expressions, I must be fairly well known. Pleasure to meet you all. I will be your homeroom teacher this year. My name is Lee Sudok." He addressed the brown-haired girl, repeating his question. "You there, what do you call me?" Trembling, she stammered, "Why, Your Excellency, the crime hunter." Sudok was not satisfied. "No, the answer has two words." The brown-haired girl continued to falter. That. The executioner. Main was not surprised to realize, so it is him. Kim Ho often kept himself updated with information. In the world of the Elden Dragonslayer Academy, there are more superhumans who have surpassed normal human limits than grains of sand. And among them, there are those who wield their power for twisted desires. Criminals are an unavoidable part of that. He explained the situation clearly. Lee Sudok's task is to hunt and capture these criminals. His nickname, the Butcher, comes from the fact that he has killed more criminals than he has taken alive. The Butcher was completely confident in his abilities. I do not want to be here either. But I gave my word to the principal. I have never failed a mission. Sudok's warning made the students shiver, so I hope none of you will mess up my record. Honestly, I would rather kill you than let you fail. He picked up the chalk and wrote on the board, back to the main topic. I will explain how scores are calculated. Sudok proceeded strictly according to his plan. The theoretical exam counts for 30%. Consciousness behavior counts for 10%. Just breathe and avoid causing trouble. For many of you, this is practically free points. He was a man of principle who disliked carelessness. However, consciousness points can drop below 0, and that will drag all other scores down. I will keep an eye on slackers, who knows. We might meet again after graduation. Sudok continued explaining the scoring system. Next is the most important part, the practical exam. It consists of dungeon raids, where you must clear each dungeon one by one. The Butcher calmly clarified the rest, and duels, where students face off against each other. Points are cumulative, meaning you will have to perform better than the person next to you. Sudok made full use of the class time to teach. Dungeon raids and duels each account for 30% of the total score. Any questions? No? Then let us head to the arena. The tension rose as two students faced off with swords. He informed the students, it is time for the ranking test. For some reason, Byung-chul seemed thrilled. Finally, something big. Hyunwoo suddenly remembered, so this is what you were talking about. Yesterday, sir. Sudok set the standards to prepare the students for unexpected challenges, to ensure students are ready for any situation. The rules for duels change each time. Today's duel rule for the ranking test is deathmatch. Victory would be determined according to his announcement. The fight will not end until one side is completely exhausted and unable to continue. A shy black-haired boy raised his hand. Ready, Sudok added, or you can surrender. The Butcher provided clear information so everyone understood. The limit is 5 minutes. If no one wins, it will be considered a draw. Byung-chul diligently recorded Sudok's instructions. Each person will duel 3 randomly selected students, and points are awarded per win, 300 points for each victory. He turned to Kim Ho to ask, what about a draw or a loss? Kim Ho answered the question, 0 points, but no points will be deducted. Suddenly, a control panel appeared right in front of Kim Ho. The system sent a notification. Side quest. Objective, achieve above average performance in the test. Win at least 1 duel, rank in the top 50% of dungeon raids. Reward, support skill slot +1. Kim Ho already had his own plan, so I just need to win 1 duel and perform decently in the dungeon raid. But what matters most right now is something else. He analyzed the unique traits of each participant. The ranking test is the perfect opportunity to gauge other students' abilities. A chance for talents to train toward X rank, or to take note of students whose skills or traits are worth emulating. A moment later, Sudok called out the names from the list. Kim Ho, Hong Yunhwa, step forward. Hyunwoo cheered from the sidelines, do your best, Kim Win. A familiar red-haired figure appeared in front of Kim Ho. Kim Ho understood Hyuna better than anyone else. My opponent is the Ruby Tower. A fire magic specialist tower known for extreme firepower and exceptional area control, the top choice in my game. Kim Ho remained completely unfazed. Sorry, but you will be playing with me for 5 minutes. Hyuna felt a twinge of disappointment at facing him in the match. I need to make a name for myself. To do that, I have to defeat someone famous. Kim Ho. I have never heard the name. She underestimated his power. That weapon, even a novice mage would laugh at that level E Earth Staff. According to system data, level E Earth Staff slightly boosts earth magic and protective magic. Hyuna's reasoning was convincing but not conclusive. Definitely not from the Emerald Tower, and it does not look like an earth mage. He is just using the staff to support protective magic. The length suggests he prioritizes power over mobility. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. She reassured herself, it is just a support mage standing in place. Sudok shouted loudly, begin. Hyuna's technique was not anything extraordinary. Explosion skill. I will finish with a flash strike. Spectators outside praised the red-haired girl. Did you see that spell just now? That flash? Definitely Ruby Tower level. Hyuna suddenly froze, unable to speak. The control panel displayed, Hong Yunhwa score, 100%, Kim Ho score, 100%. She could not believe it, 100%. Hyuna was stunned that Kim Ho remained unharmed. Impossible. I did not think a single strike would hit directly, but like this. Even the Ruby Tower head sighed in frustration, can't do anything at all. The system displayed the tied scores, Hong Yunhua 100, Kim Ho 100. Hyuna suspected Kim Ho had used some trick to outsmart her. Nothing worked. Did he use some dispersal spell? Determined to defeat him, she resolved, if that is the case, let us see about this. Kim Ho remained utterly calm in the face of her attack. Dispersal magic won't stop me. The Ruby Tower head silently thought, try moving any opening and I will fire immediately. Even Hyuna herself was stunned on the spot. Huh, what is this? She could not comprehend his actions. Why is he just standing there? Clenching her teeth at facing such a formidable opponent, she muttered, if he is that confident. She poured all her energy into her final strike. The flames of her anger surged, then tried to block this fire pillar. Byung-chul, sitting in the stands, could not help but praise her, truly Ruby class level. Hyuna struggled to express her emotions. The red-haired girl was completely shocked as Kim Ho remained unscathed. He just blocked a strike from the future Ruby Tower head and did not get hurt at all. Kim Ho realized he had already wasted precious time. At this rate, I will have to use my trump card. Special magic rapidly flew toward Hyuna. There, that is Hummingbird. The Ruby Tower head nearly got hit by the spell. Hyuna could not keep dodging the Hummingbird spell forever. When Hyuna's knees buckled, the system confirmed, paralysis status effect applied. Kim Ho made his decision, ending it here. He understood her competitive spirit. Save your trump card for the next match. Wanting what was best for Hyuna, he advised, think about the bigger picture. The final result of the duel appeared on the screen. Hong Yunhua, defeat, Kim Ho, victory. The students around them were in disbelief that he had turned the match around. Hong Yunhua lost. How did he not lose a single HP? Who is he? Doesn't look like any of the prodigies. Can't find his background. Who even is he? Kim Ho wanted to avoid trouble with the overly curious crowd. Got more attention than I planned. Better be careful. Sudok continued calling names. Next, Kim Ho. Kim Ho sighed at the situation. Again, no mercy at all. He already knew her name, Song Chunyi. The brown-haired boy looked surprised. Huh, Song Chunyi, from the Amber Tower. The black-haired boy had heard the news as well. I heard she joined the disciplinary committee as soon as she enrolled. It seemed Chunyi still harbored doubts about Kim Ho. Facing you is lucky, but I have something I need to confirm with you. Kim Ho stood still, silent. Unclear what his intentions were, he said, I surrender. She was infuriated by his words. Huh. Sudok wanted to know why Kim Ho acted this way. Why? He offered a simple reason to settle the matter. I am not in my best state today. Fighting again would be hard for me. The butcher grew more puzzled. Isn't scoring more points better? Sudok urged Kim Ho to think carefully. So you truly want to give up? Kim Ho expressed his decision firmly. Yes, I won't do it. He did not hesitate at all. I will also forfeit the third match. Sudok respected the student's decision. All right, I will count it as a loss. The lightning element mage scolded him harshly. Pathetic, always ready to back down. Chunyi had always pushed herself to improve. My grandfather always says never to hesitate, even when the situation is not ideal, and to fight to the very end to reach the top. Kim Ho calmly reflected. Now that I think about it, her grandfather must be a lightning emperor like grandparent, like grandchild. He did not concern himself with that matter. For a competitive hero, that makes sense, but it has nothing to do with me. Kim Ho was willing to let her claim the glory. Seems it is not for me. Consider it your victory. Chunyi deliberately taunted him, truly disappointing. I must be foolish to expect anything from you. Kim Ho suddenly remembered something. Ah, right. She turned to listen. What? He recalled Chunhai's promise on the train. Didn't you say you would give me a dessert voucher? Kim Ho's words only made her angrier, though she had to smile. I am still waiting. Sudok switched opponents for Chunyi. Next up, Song Chunyi, Yang Jihong. Jihong was thrilled to face the lightning mage. Amber Tower, amazing. He had not even finished speaking when he became flustered. You are ready, right? Chunyi unleashed a devastating attack the moment the butcher shouted, begin. The system's message confirmed her overwhelming power. Song Chunyi, 100, Yang Jihong, 0. Byung-chul diligently took notes on the events. She is really paying attention to him, huh? Kim Ho had already anticipated the likely outcome of facing Chunyi, probably so. He felt relieved for Kim Ho. Good thing you surrendered before becoming barbecue. Song Chunyi loses, and Yang Jihong wins. Kim Ho exhaled in relief, told you so. Yet the anger still lingered in her heart. He did not dare respond to Byung-chul. Did you see her expression just now? Some admired Chunhai's talent. No wonder she is the granddaughter of the Lightning Emperor. Incredible. Kim Ho's face lit up with joy. Alright, now I just need to win. The backstabber whispered behind him. Seriously, who gives up during the ranking test? The bob-haired girl bluntly criticized, probably scared because the opponent was Song Chunyi. The backstabber did not realize Kim Ho had overheard everything, so beating Hong Yunhua earlier was just luck. He must be a worthless coward. Kim Ho was satisfied with his own performance, not too flashy. But defeating Hong Yunhua from the Ruby Tower is exactly the kind of reputation I wanted. Sudok announced the next match. Next up, Song Chunyi. Kim Ho felt concerned for the other students. Here we go again. Poor opponent. The silver-haired girl stepped onto the arena at his call. Son Yain. Byung-chul could not help but be puzzled. A royal guard, that is unexpected. Kim Ho also raised an eyebrow. Really, I just found out too. The orange-haired boy eagerly anticipated the outcome. This is interesting. Royal Guard versus a mage. It would not be surprising if Song Chunyi loses this one. Kim Ho only trusted what he saw. Who knows, let us wait and see. Byung-chul countered Kim Ho's opinion. No way, a cautious Royal Guard won't lose. The thrill of betting surged through him, betting 5 silver coins. Then. This aligned with the orange-haired boy's sentiment. Yep. The system displayed the match info just before it began. Song Chunyi, 100, Seo Yain, 100. Yain wielded 2 guns simultaneously. The sound of gunfire erupted as the sharpshooter unleashed a barrage toward her opponent. Start. Chunyi, the lightning mage, controlled the magical bullets with one hand. Her electricity quickly neutralized them. Byung-chul could not believe his eyes. She blocked it. Kim Ho was not surprised at all. This method suited her perfectly, just as I thought. His intuition was uncannily accurate. Song Chunhai's mana pool is much larger, so that rank E hummingbird spell she is using is effectively a rank D. Yain continued firing magical bullets relentlessly. The hummingbird spell zipped past her body. Chunyi snapped her fingers, controlling her lightning magic. Yain had prepared for this, learning from the previous attacks. The silver-haired girl narrowly avoided the hummingbird strike. However, Yain fell to the ground after being struck by residual electricity. He worried about her condition. If that hit directly, the match would have ended right there. Kim Ho keenly noticed a change in the sharpshooter's speed. She dodged it, but her movements have slowed down. Byung-chul analyzed like an expert. Once stunned by electricity, the next attack is guaranteed to hit. Just as I thought, Song Chunyi is not an easy win. Yain retrieved a smoke bomb she had prepared in advance. She immediately threw it toward Chunyi. Chunyi, caught off guard, simply stood frozen. Kim Ho had not anticipated this move. A smoke bomb. He quickly noted the formula to use later. Perfect technique. Any ordinary bomb would have been blocked already. Byung-chul's prediction proved correct. Now the tide has turned. This is where the Royal Guard shines. Thick clouds of smoke enveloped the arena. Magical bullets suddenly shot into Chunhai's back, leaving her stunned. Chunhai's shield trembled violently, blue sparks crackling across its surface as Yain's sudden attack slammed into it. Gritting her teeth, she leaned slightly forward. Muttering under her breath, I blocked it with the shield, but the impact still threw me off balance. The silver-haired girl remained hidden behind the thick smoke, sniper rifle in hand. Having just thrown the smoke bomb, she now realized the imminent danger of losing the match and frowned in frustration. At this rate, I am in serious trouble. Byung-chul, watching the duel, could not help but admire Yain's skills. That kid must be loaded first year and already rocking a cloaking cloak. Kim Ho, intrigued, glanced over at him, while the orange-haired friend continued praising her tactical ingenuity, switching to a sniper smart move. Meanwhile, the silver-haired girl kept her cold, focused gaze locked on Chunyi, preparing to fire. A shot rang out, a glowing emerald projectile streaking with lightning speed toward Chunhai's shoulder. She managed to tilt her head just enough to avoid a direct hit. But the force still jolted her, causing her to grimace and let out a sharp cry. The system board updated the scores. Song Chunyi 85%, Seo Yain 88%, time remaining, 2:13. As Chunyi turned to face her opponent, Yain had already vanished into the dense white smoke, concealing her position. Chunhai's worry grew. I can't just keep defending like this. Suddenly, Yain reappeared behind her, rifle raised, aiming directly. Another shot fired, colliding with Chunhai's shield behind her neck. Sparks of electricity surged from the impact, halting the bullet in its tracks. Chunyi, thinking ahead, focused on predicting the bullet's trajectory. I have to anticipate where the mana shot will go. As the bullet struck her reinforced shield, Chunyi twisted her body, preparing a counterattack. One hand reached behind her, channeling her lightning magic. Electric arcs sprang to life. Now's the perfect moment. She slammed her hand down onto the ground, sending a web of lightning racing toward Yane. The silver-haired girl leapt into the air, narrowly avoiding the strikes. Chunyi immediately noticed Yane's brief lapse in focus, spotting an opening. With a triumphant smirk, she raised a finger mockingly. Found you. Confident, she ensured the attack would land. No more dodging, right? As expected, Yane froze, unable to react in time. The lightning surged directly into her, enveloping her body in a painful storm. Screaming in agony, Yane collapsed, the sniper rifle slipping from her grasp. The system board updated once more. Song Chunyi 85%. Co Yane 68%. Time remaining, 0:00. Chunyi stood tall, victorious, while Yane lay defeated on the ground. Byungchul clutched his head, utterly bewildered, unable to believe what he was seeing. She actually lost. Kim Ho exhaled, his eyes fixed on the battlefield below. Thinking to himself, no question about it. He could not deny Chunhai's sheer strength and skill. No first year could match her. As the match ended, the system board flashed the final results for the Lightning Mage. Song Chunyi wins, Co Yane loses. Yane was quickly healed, her wounds from the lightning strikes gone, yet her expression remained icy and composed, showing not the slightest sign of being rattled. Kim Ho silently admired her persistence, but to hold out against Chunyi, that is impressive. Byungchul, having lost his bet to Kim Ho, placed 5 silver coins into his hand as promised. Here, 5 coins as I said. Suddenly, the orange-haired boy had a mischievous idea, trying to coax Kim Ho into one more round, holding onto his arm. Wait, how about one more? A real man plays 3 rounds. Kim Ho immediately declined, addicted to betting. One's enough. But Byungchul persisted, gesturing toward the arena where Hyunwoo had appeared, hoping to provoke Kim Ho. Come on, look over there. You might change your mind. Hyunwoo's next opponent is the disciple of the Fist King, Jo Byuk. The orange-haired boy, sensing an exciting match, wanted to bet again to reclaim his previous 5 coins. Byungchul, delighted, tried to lure Kim Ho into placing a bet. Who are you backing? After a moment's thought, Kim Ho replied calmly, let us see. Probably the Fist King's disciple. The orange-haired boy chuckled and placed his bet on the opposite side. Then I will go with the other one. So cruel to be on the same side. Kim Ho crossed his arms, eyes calmly watching the duel unfold, unshaken. I am just telling the truth. I never said Hyunwoo would lose. Byungchul, pen poised to take notes, frowned in confusion. Huh, what do you mean by that? Kim Ho only smiled, enjoying the curiosity he sparked. Just wait and see. Hyunwoo suddenly glanced up toward the stands, spotting Kim Ho observing the match. A small, excited smile formed on his face. He is watching. Gripping the hilt of his sword, Hyunwoo prepared to draw, determined to show his full strength. I have to give my best, but it won't be easy. He drew the blade from its sheath at his side. The Fist King's disciple, curious, asked, why not draw the sword from your back? Hyunwoo's reply was a subtle provocation, a challenge that dismissed his opponent. Not the time yet. Byuk's hand clenched in response to the disdain, but he remained composed, unfazed. Not the time, huh? The disciple of the Fist King assumed a ready stance, resolute. I won't hold back. Hyunwoo, his gaze equally steadfast, nodded in agreement. Nor will I. The system board displayed their stats. Go Hyunwoo 100% versus Jo Byuk 100%. The referee's voice rang out. Begin. Immediately, Byuk lunged forward, moving with blinding speed straight at him. The Fist King's disciple swung a powerful punch with his bare hand. Hyunwoo, the swordsman, slashed his blade in a swift horizontal arc, narrowly dodging the strike. Flames erupted around Byuk's fist as he prepared his next attack. Hyunwoo thought silently, that is the Fist King's disciple. No wasted movements at all. Hyunwoo raised his sword to block the devastating blow, but the sheer force made him cry out, HGH. The impact sent him flying backward, the tremendous power leaving him shaken. Gritting his teeth in anger, he muttered, even after bracing for the impact, I am still pushed so far back. Can't rely on basic moves here. Byuk charged forward like a human torch, his fist blazing. Hyunwoo resolved to strike. Alright. Time to end this with one move. Calmly, he activated his technique. A faint, blue smoke curled along the blade azure slash. Fire and ice clashed between the two combatants. Byuk's powerful punch cut across Hyunwoo's body, and unexpectedly, Hyunwoo's sword shattered into pieces. Seeing his weapon break so easily from basic attacks, he conceded defeat. It seems I can't continue. I surrender. Both fighters were quickly healed after the duel. On the Fist King's disciple's shoulder was a scratch left by Hyunwoo's sword, a minor mark of resistance. Byuk grinned, looking forward to their next encounter. I will be waiting for our next match. The system board displayed the final results. Go Hyunwoo loses, Jo Byuk wins. The two were swiftly teleported off the arena, leaving only two pristine white whirlpools behind. Kim Ho observed quietly, thinking, just as I thought, the iron sword could not withstand it. He recalled seeing Hyunwoo wield the sword on the ship and had suspected this outcome. Watching now, he concluded, he is really using the iron sword as a consumable item. Byung-chul buried his face in his hands, frustrated and astonished. No way. You predicted this too. Kim Ho patted him on the shoulder smugly, flattering, really. The main character did not forget to collect the money owed from the orange-haired boy. Smiling brightly, so dazzling it made Byung-chul resentful, he held out his hand. All right, 5 silver. Byung-chul stammered, flustered, I do not have any more money. Kim Ho, seeing his friend unable to pay, offered another option. It does not have to be money. Byung-chul's eyes lit up with excitement, surprised, really, then? What else? The main character pointed directly at the notebook Byung-chul had been scribbling in and said bluntly, hand over the information you have got. Suddenly, a voice rang out, reminding the students, after lunch, we will continue with the dungeon conquest test. Gather at the dungeon hall, do not be late. Dismissed. The students dispersed to relax in the campus's lush courtyard, where the grass was neatly trimmed daily. Everyone seemed excited, can't wait for the conquest. Some were eating a quick lunch after. A busy morning, oh, this is good. Meanwhile, Kim Ho's group sat nearby, with Byung-chul devouring a sandwich with gusto. He mumbled something while eating, prompting Kim Ho to scold him, finish chewing first, gross. The blonde-haired boy quickly straightened up and asked politely, sorry, what info do you need? He then began answering a few questions Kim Ho posed. Tell me about the key figures of the 4 main factions. Byung-chul grinned, sure, this info's already been circulating anyway. The 4 main factions were the Disciplinary Committee, the Dragon Slaying Academy's top 4, the Martial Alliance, the Guild Federation, the Demon Tower Society, and the Knights Order. At the head of these factions were Mo Ying-jun, grandson of the Sword Saint Mo Ying-hyunsung, representing the Martial Alliance. Hong Yunhua, heir to the Ruby Tower, led the Demon Tower Society. Druid Park Nari, always with a cat perched on her shoulder, headed the Guild Federation, alongside another promising member concealing their true power. Finally, Kim Hong-yun, son of the Grand Swordmaster, represented the Knights Order. Byung-chul flipped through his notebook, narrating the details for Kim Ho. These are the particularly powerful individuals. Kim Ho could not hide his excitement. Impressive, indeed. Byung-chul closed the notebook and glanced around curiously. Wait, where did Hyunwoo go? At that moment, the orange-haired boy's phone vibrated, startling him. The club president. Almost forgot, he muttered. He hurried off, leaving a quick farewell behind. I am heading off, sorry. Kim Ho watched him rush away and sighed helplessly. See you later. In such a hurry. His attention was drawn to a silver-haired girl sitting alone, eating her sandwich quietly without speaking to anyone. Yane looked somber, almost lonely, as if wanting to fade into the shadows, unseen by anyone. Kim Ho could not help but think, perhaps she is the first person I have truly connected with in this world. I can't just sit here and watch her spirit falter like this. He decided to start a conversation with her. Hey, the cookie I dropped on the ship yesterday. The silver-haired sharpshooter, already nibbling on her own food, glanced at him with a puzzled look. Kim Ho tapped a few buttons on his system interface and continued, wanting to share his dessert with her. Song Chunyi already sent the dessert ticket. Since it is your cookie, I will share it with you. A small, charming box of blueberry cookies appeared, and he did not forget to invite her, eat together. The silver-haired girl responded calmly, thanks. Suddenly, she spoke up, addressing him, hey. Kim Ho, mid-bite, turned curiously, unsure what she was about to ask, yeah. She spoke straightforwardly, seeking his opinion, do you think I lost to Song Chunyi? Kim Ho sighed and decisively answered her question, if your mana bullets are not strong enough, they can't pierce a mana barrier. A mage with a larger mana pool naturally has the advantage. Then he held a mana bullet out in front of her and continued explaining. But if the mana bullets are enhanced, that changes everything. The silver-haired girl's eyes widened with curiosity, clearly astonished. Excited, yet still unsure how to proceed, she asked, mana training. How am I supposed to do that? Kim Ho was surprised. She had never heard of mana training. Huh. Don't tell me. You have never tried, Yane admitted plainly, never. The protagonist, curious, asked again. Then how have you been creating mana bullets until now? The silver-haired girl looked even more confused, not understanding what he meant. Kim Ho was stunned by Yane's reaction. She truly had no knowledge of mana training. You have never created a mana bullet before? Yane replied nonchalantly, no, never. He stared at her as if she were an alien, thinking, a genius. Mana bullets should be a basic skill for every royal guard. Yane noticed him silently studying her and grew curious. Kim Ho, lost in thought, reflected, so she has been fighting purely on instinct all this time, even giving Song Chunyi a real challenge, without knowing how to train her mana. If that is the case, he could clearly see Yane's potential. If the silver-haired sharpshooter learned to use her skills properly through mana training, she could grow exponentially strong and might even surpass Chunyi. Then Kim Ho made a suggestion to gauge her abilities. If you do not mind, show me your skills. She agreed, sure. He encouraged her cheerfully. Mana training and learning new skills will make things a lot easier. The bell's ringing, we should go. It is time for the ranking test. At the dungeon hall, Sudok stood with his arms crossed, addressing the students seriously. Everyone's here. I will explain today's dungeon challenge. The butcher, wearing a stern expression, detailed the day's test. The challenge will take place in the dungeon gates behind me. On the announcement board, the mission was clearly displayed. Foggy Forest, rules 10-minute limit, scoring, fixed area F. Sudok then went on to explain the special rules of the dungeon. This dungeon has two special laws. First, the scoring rule, you have 10 minutes, and you will earn points based on the number of monsters you defeat within that time. The goal is to kill as many monsters as possible. Second, the fixed area rule. This zone is rank locked, meaning your equipment, skills, and traits will all be fixed at rank F. He also reminded the students about potential rank penalties. Don't forget your core will also drop to rank F, so be careful. If you are careless or fail to manage your mana, you will regret it. With that, the butcher finished explaining and began calling names for the test. I will start calling names one person at a time. One by one, the students from various academies began the dungeon challenge. Some of them, after attempting the test, collapsed to the ground in pain, trembling and groaning, leaving the students waiting in line visibly anxious. Sudok, visibly annoyed, muttered, really, groaning like this already, and could not help but mock their weakness. What a disaster. The butcher glanced to the side, pursed his lips, and frowned at the small number of students who had performed exceptionally. The only ones actually competent are. Those were Somi and a gray-haired young man. Somi completed the challenge flawlessly, finding it far too easy, clearly satisfied with her score, 928 points, ranked first. The young man also struggled and was in visible pain, clutching his arm and sitting on the ground to recover, earning 530 points, top 20%. Sudok, clearly disappointed, sighed, just these two, my head already hurts, and signaled for the next group to continue. Next group. The butcher called out, Seo Yane, Kim Ho. Surprising both of them, they had not expected to be paired for the test. Kim Ho saw the silver-haired girl move ahead, holding her sniper rifle. He called after her, wait, Seo Yane, for this challenge, use the rifle. Seeing that this was a more suitable approach, she quickly understood his suggestion. Got it. The protagonist continued explaining how Yane should control her mana to maximize efficiency while using the rifle. If managing your mana is too difficult, just aim for the head when enemies get close. She understood and agreed, okay. Unbeknownst to them, Chunyi was standing nearby with her arms crossed, smirking in disdain at Kim Ho. He is not even using a gun, why is he giving advice? Kim Ho moved toward the teleportation circle, turning back to wave cheerfully at Yane, see you later. He quickly entered the foggy forest, and the system displayed, entering fixed area zone. Finally, the protagonist had been transported into the area. He slowly moved around, curious, the foggy forest. It has been a while, has not it? Suddenly, the system announced. Adjusting level of skills, traits, equipment. Kim Ho, intrigued, tapped a few commands on his system panel to check the map and his current location. Let us see. Where exactly am I? Let us get started. Unbeknownst to him, A viscous blue liquid from a lurking monster was observing him silently from behind. At that moment, the system announced, time remaining, 10 minutes. The protagonist drew a staff with excitement, ready to hunt. The system promptly continued, start. Time remaining, 9 minutes 59 seconds. Suddenly, a goblin leapt out, attempting to grab him. Before the goblin could act, Kim Ho swung his staff, striking it squarely in the jaw, stopping the sharp teeth from threatening him. He effortlessly sent it flying, noticing the dagger it had wielded in midair. A thought struck him, in the foggy forest. Monsters spawn randomly the moment you enter. Surprised by the sudden attack but undeterred, he mentally mapped out the likely spawn points. Still, there are some familiar attack patterns. Based on where that goblin appeared, this is a Type C spawn. One hand held the dagger he would just taken from the goblin, the other gripped his staff firmly as he calculated where the next monster would appear, so the next one will come from over there. Without hesitation, Kim Ho threw the dagger toward the approaching creature. The weapon struck the orc's eye, causing it to howl in pain. The massive orc collapsed, and its fall generated a shockwave that rattled the ground. Kim Ho exhaled in relief, impressed with the ease of the takedown. Looks like I do not even need the staff for this one. Immediately, he grabbed the orc's massive sword, slinging it over his shoulder with a grin, weapons lying around. Might as well borrow from the orcs and goblins. Kim Ho, seeing the goblin and orc sprawled out on the forest floor, felt a thrill for the hunt ahead. Time to rack up some points. He continued hunting the forest's monsters, blood splattering across the foggy night as their pitiful screams filled the air. The system updated, time remaining, 7 minutes 2 seconds. Suddenly, 2 red-eyed orcs charged at him. Kim Ho's eyes narrowed, calculating, 2 trolls from the edge. Wait, I can't let this get recorded. It seemed like none of the monsters posed any real threat to him. Kim Ho could effortlessly swipe through them with one hand, defeating them with almost no exertion at all. He quickly operated the system to erase all traces of his movements. Almost forgot if it logs how I move and hunt, it could cause misunderstandings. Better erase it. Suddenly, his score appeared on the screen, current score, 683 points. Kim Ho exhaled, slightly astonished, 683 points in just 3 minutes. I actually took down that many. Even he did not expect to have defeated so many in such a short span. Still, he was not overly concerned. Well, at least the side objectives are done too. The system displayed the next set of tasks. Goal: achieve an average score in the test. Win at least one version 1 match. Rank within the top 50% in the dungeon challenge. Current rank, none. Reward: slot copy +1. He decided not to push further, just meeting the minimum was enough. Going higher will just draw attention. Satisfied, he prepared to leave, stop here and exit. The teleportation vortex activated, guiding him out of the dungeon. As he stepped forward, he unexpectedly saw Yane standing motionless, her exhaustion written all over her face. The silver-haired sharpshooter emerged looking battered. Her eyes shadowed and weary. The system displayed her score, CO Yane, 781 points, top 21%. Kim Ho approached her, how are you? Are you okay? Contrasting his cheerful demeanor, Yane let out a weary sigh, exhausted. Completely. Seeing her so drained, he complimented her to ease the fatigue from the challenge. Tired, your score is not bad at all. Behind them, Sudok silently evaluated Kim Ho's performance. This kid. He gave up in the version 1, did not even stay the full 10 minutes. Is he planning to drop out? The executioner, initially dismissive of Kim Ho's potential, suddenly noticed something unusual. Average rank. He got that many points in such a short time. Kim Ho, 683 points, 38%. Has anything like this ever happened? Curious, he fixed his gaze on Kim Ho. I need to keep an eye on this one. Suddenly, Sudok called out the next student. Next, Go Hyunwoo. Kim Ho, standing nearby, offered a quick word of encouragement, be careful. Hyunwoo responded briskly, I will be back soon, and the swordsman stepped toward the teleportation circle. Watching him leave, Kim Ho glanced at the current leaderboard and thought, that is Lee Sung-hyun, the son of the Grand Swordmaster. Lee Sung-hyun, 951 points, rank 1. Han So-mi, 928 points, rank 2. Mo Yongjun, 903 points, rank 3. He paused at the third name, Mo Yongjun. The grandson of sword sage Mo Ying, right. Recalling So-mi's combat skills, he evaluated, if the top competitors are all at Han So-mi's level, then Go Hyunwoo should be just as impressive. Suddenly, the leaderboard shifted, revealing a new top score. Go Hyunwoo, 1023 points, rank 1. Kim Ho was not surprised. He had expected the swordsman to claim the top spot. As I thought. Number 1, indeed. When Hyunwoo stepped out of the misty forest through the teleportation circle, whispers immediately spread among the students, full of curiosity and admiration. Is that the guy from that group? No wonder he fought so well earlier. 1,000 points, that is possible. Kim Ho saw the swordsman emerge and praised him. Well done. Hyunwoo's face lit up at the compliment. Kim Hung, it is all thanks to you. He did not forget to express genuine gratitude for all the help Kim Ho had given him to improve his score. Letting me rest after the 1v1 match really helped me rack up points. Kim Ho, slightly embarrassed and modest, replied, "You're giving me too much credit." Suddenly, a young man with slicked back hair noticed Kim Ho sticking close to Hyunwoo and assumed he was trying to ride on the swordsman's reputation. He sneered. "Ha, what is up with that guy, clinging to the top rank like a coward?" Another student chimed in. "Yeah, did not he give up in the 1v1 challenge anyway?" Hyunwoo heard every mocking word clearly. Furious, he spun around to retort, "Hey," but Kim Ho quickly intervened, not wanting him to get into a confrontation. "It is fine, just ignore them," he reassured calmly. Hyunwoo wanted to defend Kim Ho's honor, but Kim Ho winked at him, comforting him silently. "I said it is fine." Seeing Kim Ho's firm stance, Hyunwoo sighed and reluctantly agreed, "All right, if that is what you want." Kim Ho then glanced at the leaderboard, noticing all the other students' scores and asked, "Already done?" Hyunwoo quickly replied, "I have not seen Miss Chunhai's results yet." Curious, Kim Ho looked back toward the teleportation circle. Oh, not done yet. Meanwhile, Chunyi was battling multiple goblins on her own. She unleashed her lightning magic, summoning crackling bolts to strike them down, her expression showing mild disdain. "This is nothing." Suddenly, the lightning mage sensed something unusual and panicked. "What?" She stared at the goblins, dazed from the bolts but still struggling to stand, confused and muttering to herself, "I knew my power would be reduced. But just slightly, right?" Then Chunyi recalled Kim Ho's advice to Yang. If controlling mana is difficult, just aim at the heads of approaching monsters. She suddenly realized, oh, that is right. Clenching her fists as lightning sparks danced around her, anger surged within. Annoying. That advice just popped into my head. My mana is limited, and my AoE is not working properly. Unexpectedly, she found herself following his suggestion and resigned herself to it. Fine. Then aim at a single point. With that, she cast her spell, Lightning Strike. Chunhai's fist, faster than lightning, surged forward with dazzling electric arcs, striking through the body of a goblin. One strike, total kill. At the same time, Chunhai's test time came to an end, and the system displayed, Song Chunyi 571 points, top 47%. The lightning mage stepped out of the teleportation circle, and Kim Ho quickly noticed her emerging. Chunyi did not approach where Kim Ho, Yang, and Hyunwoo were standing. Her face was flushed with embarrassment, and she muttered to herself in shame, why does it have to show up like this? My score is not even good. So embarrassing. She did not want her low score to be displayed in front of him. Kim Ho, Yang, and Hyunwoo all turned to look at her, and Kim Ho spoke first. Ah, you are back. Just then, Lee Sudok announced to the students, the ranking test ends here. Results will be announced tomorrow. Rest well, and do not lag behind. He turned and left, adding, dismissed. The scene then shifted to a room lined with neatly arranged books. A young man inside spoke, inviting someone from outside to enter. Yes, please come in. He noticed Sudok suddenly appear and, curious, asked, Mr. Lee Sudok, what brings you here? Sudok approached and placed his hand on the desk of a bespectacled man, seeking information about a student. I want to review Kim Ho from Class 1-3's Dungeon Challenge. He sat down at the computer with visible interest. Oh, you are interested in a student, that is rare. The man muttered, a little annoyed by Sudok's chatter, and said, there is no time for small talk. Show me the recordings. Sudok's serious expression made the man uneasy, forcing him to focus and reply cautiously, yes, I will check. After a few operations on the computer, the screen failed to display Kim Ho's Dungeon Challenge footage. The man hesitated slightly before answering, The replay of Kim Ho was not saved. So it can't be viewed. Sudok's eyes widened in surprise, but he still wanted to investigate further. Then what about the dungeon logs? The man quickly replied, those would be in the access journal. His eyes suddenly lit up with astonishment as he stared at the screen, stammering, This is. Sudok leaned forward, eyes fixed on the screen showing Kim Ho's test records, and his concern grew as he noticed the anomaly, just as I suspected. This kid deliberately deleted the recording. Lee Sudok continued to stare at the screen, a mix of astonishment and suspicion written across his face as he analyzed Kim Ho's performance. Kim Ho, Misty Forest. 13 minutes 31.02 seconds, 13 minutes 34.28 seconds, 683 points, 38%. He could not understand why Kim Ho would delete the recording. At this pace, he could have easily scored 2,000 points in 10 minutes. So why hide his true strength? Don't tell me. Sudok immediately sensed the danger. In the Bloodfang Academy, the more powerful one is, the more attention they draw from enemies, dragon servants, cultists of dark gods. If even one of them infiltrates the academy, it is best to prepare countermeasures immediately. He realized a formidable force might have quietly entered the academy. So vigilance and preemptive planning were crucial before something disastrous occurred. The bespectacled man noticed Sudok's grim expression, and hesitantly voiced his concern. Should we report this to the principal? Sudok did not answer immediately, lost in thought. After a long sigh, he decided to keep it under wraps for the time being. Just monitor the situation. If the information leaks without evidence, they will become even more elusive. With lingering worry, Sudok left, thinking to himself, if he really is a threat, his fangs will reveal themselves soon enough. For now, just watch. He recalled Kim Ho's face and muttered his name under his breath, Kim Ho. At 3:27 p.m. in the Bloodfang Academy cafeteria, Kim Ho casually placed an order, I will have a cup of coffee. Hyunwoo, intrigued, followed suit, excitedly saying, I want to try this thing called coffee too. Yane, still exhausted from the lingering effects of the test, rubbed her eyes and excused herself. I will head back first. Kim Ho did not insist she stay, replying quickly, we will sit here a little longer then. The two of them got their coffee and sat at a nearby table. Kim Ho reminded Hyunwoo, check the booklet we were given at the end of class. Hyunwoo, seeking clarification, asked, you mean that thin book? He opened the small blue booklet, but still looked confused. I do not really understand what is written here. Kim Ho, calm and nonchalant, replied, that is exactly why we need coffee to see what today's important points are. Kim Ho then walked Hyunwoo through the process step by step. First, look at your student ID card. Following the instructions, Hyunwoo pulled out his card, and the system displayed his information. Go Hyunwoo, Class 1-3, points, 3069. Hyunwoo's eyes widened in shock. Whoa, these points were not there before. Kim Ho explained, those points represent the usable score you have accumulated. Think of it as the currency of Bloodfang Academy. He pointed to the booklet and continued, typically, you earn these from dungeon raids like the one you just completed. You can use them to purchase items or access academy facilities. But right now, there is one thing you need to focus on the most. Setting the booklet down, Kim Ho added, you probably noticed the recording notice right before leaving the dungeon. Hyunwoo, surprised that Kim Ho mentioned it, nodded in agreement. Oh, that is true. Kim Ho smiled, holding a small orb he had just bought, and explained, right now, you can purchase the recordings of other people's battles. The system pinged, showing, item purchased, 100 points deducted. Inside the orb was a recording of Somi fighting goblins in the Misty Forest. Hyunwoo, curious, asked, this is? Kim Ho explained, it is Han Somi's dungeon raid process. Pointing to the orb, he added that, as the top-ranked student, Hyunwoo could purchase many more items. Since you were ranked first, your items probably sell like crazy. Excited, Hyunwoo immediately tried it out, and the system kept displaying, item sold, plus 100 points, plus 100 points, plus 100 points. He was amazed by the endless point accumulation. Whoa, it just keeps going up. Still, Hyunwoo looked uneasy, sensing a downside, but having my recording sold like this is not that bad. Kim Ho sighed in agreement, exactly. People will try to find every tiny weakness and figure out counter strategies. Kim Ho continued, luckily this was an individual test, so you could aim for first place. But in direct duels, especially with mana fights, any weakness in your core would be immediately exposed. Hyunwoo fell silent, deep in thought, worried. Seeing this, Kim Ho quickly encouraged him, but the risk is worth it. We can use this opportunity to enter the mana training room at the central practice facility. He explained further, the most important part is the special mana chamber. The mana there is denser than usual, so your inner power grows much faster. Hyunwoo jumped up, slapping the table in shock. There is a place like that. Kim Ho, calm as always, replied, of course, but you have to meet the requirements to enter. Leaning on the chair and sitting back down, Hyunwoo muttered, that must cost a lot of points. Kim Ho confirmed, yep, 500 points every 6 hours. Hyunwoo hesitated, so if I go every day? Kim Ho crossed his arms and calmly answered the question on his mind, then you won't have points left for anything else. Curious, Hyunwoo asked if there was any way to minimize point loss. Kim Ho chuckled and suggested one solution, there is a season pass. It is only given to the top student of each faction, and to get it, you would have to take Yeongjun's spot in the Night Corps. Hyunwoo, worried and uneasy, admitted, I do not think I can do that yet. Seeing it was not feasible, he resigned himself. For now, saving points carefully seems like the best option. Kim Ho nodded firmly, reassuring him, I will get it for you. He added a condition, just promise me you will repay me. Hyunwoo, curious, asked, what do you need from me? Kim Ho quickly answered, and help me level up the deeper parts of the dungeon. Hyunwoo hesitated a moment, hands gripping his knees over the slightly wrinkled pants. But, thinking back on the misty forest today, I feel a little wary. Depending on the situation, this could be life-threatening. Kim Ho noticed his hesitation and asked directly, so, you want to go or not? The young swordsman's eyes lit up as he spoke, a martial artist should always strive to be stronger. You have already paved the way for me. Kim Ho was genuinely surprised at his resolve. Hyunwoo slammed his fist against his chest, decisively accepting the condition, I can't refuse my benefactor. Of course I accept, Kim Hung. Kim Ho smiled, satisfied with both his determination and courage. Good, now do not hesitate, burn through your points and root yourself in the special mana chamber. I will get the season pass for you in 2 weeks. Hyunwoo's face brightened with excitement, 2 weeks, I will wait for it. Feeling exhilarated from successfully setting the terms with Hyunwoo, Kim Ho immediately moved on to his next task. While Hyunwoo levels up, I will go trade for some items. At workshop number 4, Kim Ho pushed open the door and said politely, excuse me. A young man sat with his back to him, busy at work, objects scattered on the floor. He did not turn around but asked casually, who is there? Embarrassed, Kim Ho chuckled nervously, hello, I am here because I am interested in the Magical Technology Club. The man working diligently, Jae-sok, did not look up and asked, then why did not you come to workshop number 1 first? Kim Ho explained, I went there, but they told me to start at workshop 4. The head of the club, clearly irritated, paused his work and muttered angrily, really? He removed his glasses, revealing dark circled eyes, impatiently signaling for Kim Ho to hurry and leave, just look around and go. We are busy, do not get in the way. Kim Ho, calm and unfazed, replied politely, yes, I will observe quietly. Jae-sok resumed his work, and Kim Ho thought to himself, magical technology skill. At this level, probably grade B. Silently, Kim Ho extended his hand, golden light flickering around his fingers. Using the copy function, he effortlessly completed the first part of his task. First objective complete. He noted casually. The system displayed the update. Skill added to slot, Magical Technology B, copy, skills 2 per 2, 1. Hummingbird E, 2, Magical Technology B. Seeing that Jae-sok was not paying attention, Kim Ho smiled inwardly, next target. Should be somewhere nearby. Suddenly, he spotted it easily and grinned with excitement, found it. He picked up a cube and curiously asked the club head, hey, I found this, does it have any value? Jae-sok looked it over and asked, the 10x10x10 cube. Kim Ho explained, this requires ridiculously high skill to handle, so no one ever does it. It is basically trash. Seeing that Jae-sok did not need it, he tested whether he could take it. It looks interesting. If you do not need it, can I take it? Don't worry, I am not just taking it for nothing. Kim Ho's face lit up with a bright smile as he held a vial in his hand, the system announcing, purchased obtained thermal reaction catalyst, 1000 points deducted. He then turned to Jae-sok, the head of the Magical Technology Club, would you like to take this? Jae-suk's eyes gleamed at the sight of the vial. A thermal reaction catalyst is not top tier, but in magical technology, you can never have too much. He agreed to the exchange, taking the vial carefully, just this once, okay, don't brag to anyone else. Kim Ho responded cheerfully, thank you. As he walked away, Jae-sok could not hide his excitement, niece, saved 1000 points. Even Kim Ho, stepping outside, could still hear him chuckling, selling trash for 1,000 points. He must be thrilled. But Kim Ho could not help staring at the cube he would found. Is this really trash? The system displayed the objective linked to it. Side quest. Cube beyond the gate. A strange cube found in the Magical Technology Workshop. Objective. Achieve above average ranking in the assessment. Reward. Unlock quest chain. Kim Ho chuckled to himself as he tapped a few buttons on the system. The quest itself is trash. Who wants to deal with this hassle? The final reward for the quest, a rank S item. The Cube of Life, he thought, feeling a surge of excitement. Tiny blue sparks swirled around his feet. Before him, a room bathed entirely in a blue hue appeared. The training center. Mana room. Holding the cube in his hands, Kim Ho realized, I do not even need the quest to know how to do this. He grasped the cube, feeling the purple energy swirling around his hands, and the system displayed, use amplification, upgrade magical technology, B right pointing arrow S, duration. 59 seconds, cooldown, 58 minutes 58 seconds. Kim Ho's eyes gleamed, let us begin. Swiftly spinning the cube in his hands, the system counted down, effect, 47 seconds. Effect, 14 seconds. He lifted a small block from the larger cube with precision. At this pace, 3 days should be enough. As the small blocks scattered across the floor, the system updated, amplification complete. Effect expired. Downgrade magical technology. S right pointing arrow B cooldown, 58 minutes 54 seconds. Kim Ho exhaled sharply. Wow, a minute flies by. He sat cross-legged, clasping a circle with his hands to absorb the blue energy in the room, thinking, once the rank drops, the cube can't operate. I will meditate to refine my core. Suddenly, the system announced, effect expired. His eyes snapped open, 1 hour of meditation, 1 minute on the cube, repeat. The system continuously chimed, use amplification. Effect, 1 minute. Upgrade magical technology, B right pointing arrow S. Kim Ho kept working diligently. I need to complete the Cube of Life before Friday. The event triggers on the first Friday. After a long session in the Mana chamber, he finally looked up and saw daylight streaming through. All right, it is morning. Time to head to school. The scene shifted to the academy. Kim Ho entered the classroom and quickly spotted Yang, who was already seated near her usual spot. He greeted her cheerfully, good morning. You are here early, the silver-haired sharpshooter replied with a simple nod. Yeah, I woke up early. Curiously, Kim Ho scanned the room. Hasn't Hyunwoo arrived yet? Yang lightly pinched the sleeve of his uniform, bringing him back to attention. Huh, he asked. With her usual impassive expression, Yang handed him a small bag. Here, some cookies. Kim Ho's eyes lit up at the gesture. Oh, for me, thank you. He opened the bag and pulled out a cookie shaped like a dinosaur, holding it up with excitement. A dinosaur cookie, awesome. Yang, noticing his childlike delight, felt a faint blush of embarrassment. Suddenly, Hyunwoo appeared from behind and greeted them both. Morning, Kim Hung. CO to you too. He caught sight of Kim Ho already munching on the cookie Yang had given him, while Yang pouted, still slightly irritated from earlier. It is not a dinosaur, she muttered. Hyunwoo laughed and asked, you are late. How was the special Mana room? His eyes sparkling with excitement, the swordsman eagerly recounted his experience. It was amazing. My inner energy surged like never before. I feel like I am on the verge of breaking through to a new level. Kim Ho smiled approvingly at his dedication. Good, I will get the seasonal ticket as soon as possible. Hyunwoo grinned and replied, thanks, Hung. Meanwhile, Yang still had a scowl on her face, murmuring again, it is not a dinosaur. Finally, the class period began. Sudok entered, commanding order, everyone, take your seats and settle down. He stood at the podium, arms crossed, as the system projected the next exam on the board. Before we begin, a notice, starting today, we will hold one-on-one duels in the arena, he announced, 10-minute death matches. The map would be random, the rules simple, lethal combat, 10 minutes per match. Sudok continued to explain, time limit increased to 10 minutes, so adjust accordingly. First-year students must complete at least 3 duels this week. Skipping will result in point deductions. Consider this your warning. When the explanation concluded, Kim Ho grinned, a spark of determination in his eyes. So it begins. In this dueling round, I am going to win. Kim Ho stared at his system board with intense excitement. Here we go. The system displayed the detailed mission notice, side quest, week 1 duels, objective, complete 3 duels 0 per 3, deadline, Sunday midnight, reward, depends on number of wins. He clenched his fist. I have to win this match no matter what. He patted Hyunwoo on the shoulder, reminding him, let us head to the arena. The first few plays are the most crucial. The swordsman eagerly responded, got it, let us go. Suddenly, a small hand tugged on Kim Ho's sleeve. Yane's silver hair brushed against his arm as she spoke hesitantly, I am free today. Kim Ho froze in surprise. Her words left everyone momentarily stunned, especially him. Flustered, he asked, what do you mean? Then he realized what she was referring to. He paused, thinking carefully. You mean practicing mana bullets like last time, right? Yane nodded in agreement, yes. Kim Ho smiled and accepted her suggestion. Alright, I will meet you later. Her expression remained calm and impassive as she nodded, okay. Later that afternoon, at the arena, Kim Ho led the way with Hyunwoo following behind. Suddenly, a voice called out, that person is. Ji-young turned to Kim Ho and asked Jung-hwa, do you know him? The leader of the Emerald Tower crossed his arms and replied, he is the one who surrendered before facing Miss Song. A red-haired student sneered, clearly disdainful. So it is that coward I have heard about recently. Hyunwoo's eyes blazed with anger. How dare they speak about him like that? He shouted, pathetic, but Kim Ho's hand shot out, stopping him from causing a scene. Still unwilling to let it slide, Hyunwoo called out, Kim Hung. Meanwhile, Kim Ho calmly addressed them. Did you take the ranking test? I got 300 points. How about you? Ji-young's jaw tightened, sweat beading his forehead as he realized he had the same score as a swordsman. 300 points. I have the same as this kid. He shouted in disbelief, you think I am on the same level as some brat like you, if it were not for meeting Song Chunyi in the second round. Mentioning the match against Chunyi, the red-haired student sneered, Song Chunyi, oh right, the one who got struck by lightning and had to be carried out. That was you. His lips curled into a cold smirk, veins standing out on his face. Ji-young ground his teeth, furious. What? Ji-young added, startling Jung-hwa. Well, at least we are tied in points. The red-haired student raised his spear in challenge, eyes blazing. Get down here, you coward, I will show you the wall you can never cross. Kim Ho accepted the challenge, and a one-on-one duel between the two began. The system displayed, Yang Ji-young 100%, Kim Ho 100%. Ji-young gritted his teeth, spear poised, and shouted fiercely, just one strike is enough. Main summoned his staff with excitement and replied, alright, one strike it is. The system signaled the start, begin. The red-haired student struck first, thrusting his spear straight at Kim Ho. As the spear neared his face, Kim Ho merely smiled lightly, making no effort to dodge. Suddenly, a small bird from his side delivered a hidden electric attack behind Ji-young. Kim Ho grinned, satisfied. Fool, got hit again. The system announced, paralysis effect applied. Ji-young's jaw clenched in panic as he found himself immobilized. This. Without giving him a chance to react, Kim Ho raised his staff high, his expression cold. Sorry, you are not getting a free hit like Song Chunyi. Ji-young tried to bargain, wait. Just 2 seconds, but before he could finish, a strike landed squarely on his head. The red-haired student screamed in pain and collapsed face first on the ground. The system displayed, Yang Ji-young defeated, Kim Ho victorious. Kim Ho stifled a chuckle, teasing, the coward lost. 2 large bumps appeared on Ji-young's head, and his hands clenched helplessly on the ground as he muttered, Refusing to accept defeat, Ji-young lifted his head, trembling, and taunted, I was careless, rematch, I will win. Kim Ho remained calm. Oh, alright, then let us fight again. Another duel began. The system showed, Yang Ji-young 100%, Kim Ho 100%. Determined to avenge his previous defeat, Ji-young growled, this time won't be so easy. The system signaled, begin. A few moments later, a pained scream echoed, and the system announced, Yang Ji-young defeated, Kim Ho victorious. Kim Ho smirked mockingly. Still no progress. Ji-young lay face down on the ground, cursing, damn it. Refusing to yield, he shouted, this time I will win, but Kim Ho, lacking the patience to play along, stopped the red-haired student from doing something reckless. Cut it out, you lunatic. Kim Ho turned and walked away. I am done for today. Suddenly, he recalled the side quest mission. Side quest. Week 1 duels. Objective. Complete 3 duels 0 per 3. Deadline. Sunday midnight. Reward. Depends on number of wins. He thought to himself, I need to complete 3 duels. But for now, I will treat it as if it is not urgent. Then Kim Ho made a proposition to Ji Young. If you want, I can teach you, but first. He extended his hand in front of him. Tuition. The red-haired student realized immediately and yelled in frustration, "You monster." Still, he accepted. A small box appeared in his hand as he handed it over. This is a family elixir. I will give it to you as payment. Kim Ho smiled, pleased. Oh, high-quality stuff. Main closed the box, crouched, and added one more condition. One more thing, do not record this match, and do not speak a word about it to anyone. Ji Young agreed immediately. Fine, I gain nothing if this gets out. Seeing Ji Young quickly accept, Kim Ho happily took the box and stored it in his inventory, saying with a grin, all right, tuition received. I will play until you are satisfied, then we will stop. Another duel commenced, and the result was the same, Ji Young defeated, Kim Ho victorious. Main looked at the red-haired student and asked, that is 3 matches, right, well done. Ji Young struggled to sit up and spoke, wait, I want to apologize for my rudeness earlier. He scratched his head, embarrassed. I judged you based on only one side. You are not a coward, he admitted, recognizing Kim Ho's skill. Kim Ho simply wanted him to continue misunderstanding him, so he turned and walked away. No, for now, just let me be the coward. Ji Young looked puzzled. The coward, for now. He sighed and accepted, all right, I won't pry. I can't be the only one suffering, after all. Kim Ho walked over to his swordsman friend. Go Hyunwoo, I am done. How about you? Hyunwoo cheerfully replied, I have won 2 matches already. He wanted to finish the 3rd match before Kim Ho left. I will complete the 3rd match before you go. You go ahead first, Kim Hung. Kim Ho agreed. All right, do well. At that moment, Kim Ho entered the Mana training room and asked about Yane. Have you been waiting long? Sit here. The silver-haired girl replied nonchalantly, They sat across from each other, and he instructed, let us start with the first lesson on Mana bullets. Yane clapped her hands, excited for the day's training. Main directed her to try first. Go ahead, make a Mana bullet. Yane complied, and a small sphere in her hands swirled with blue energy. Seeing her handle it so skillfully, Kim Ho marveled, impressive. She managed to put Song Chunyi at a disadvantage while just randomly forming a few Mana balls. Satisfied that Yane could create Mana bullets, he moved on to the next lesson. Now, we will learn allocation. First, use the right amount of Mana for a single bullet, then. After training with Kim Ho, Yane went into practice. The silver-haired sniper readied her rifle, and the system displayed their stats. Seo Yane 99%, GWAK Jichul 98%. Jichul formed a protective barrier around himself, smirking confidently. Avoiding the line of sight of a royal guard. I just need to use the environment, sifting through every sand mound will be tough. But Seo Yane has a special eye, he noted cautiously, sensing an abnormal mana flow among the sand piles. He smiled assuredly, certain of victory. Even if she destroys all the sand piles, she won't break my barrier. I do not need to fear a shooter who can't breach Song Chunhai's shield, Jichul thought. But just as he finished, a bullet pierced his barrier, grazing his face and leaving a streak of blood. He was stunned, panic rising. The shield had been breached by the female sniper. No. What? Yane, delighted, aimed through one eye and fired directly at him. Another bullet came, and Jichul screamed in fear. Ah, that hurts. She defeated him with ease. The system displayed, Seo Yane wins, GWAK Jichul loses. Night had fallen, and the full moon shone brightly over the academy. In Sudok's hands was a sphere recording the battle between Ji Young and Yane. The butcher watched it over and over, muttering in curiosity, the hummingbird's movements are so erratic. Her control has reached the pinnacle. The second match is the same, she is practically toying with her opponent. But that is not the only issue, he muttered, pulling out another recording. This one captured the fight between Yane and Chunyi. Seo Yane's ranking trial. That bullet was just a crude mana lump back then. Now it is a fully formed mana bullet. Can someone improve that much in just 2 days? The butcher was stunned, marveling at how quickly she had progressed in such a short span. Sudok suddenly recalled Kim Ho's words before leaving, instructing the female sniper, Ah, you mean practicing mana bullets like last time, right? Alright, I will meet you later. He gritted his teeth and swore under his breath, that guy again. He stared curiously at Kim Ho's recording, wanting to uncover his true identity. Kim Ho. Who exactly are you? Meanwhile, Main was still diligently assembling the life cube. Finally, the cube sprouted green vines curling around it. Mission S level complete. He exclaimed with joy, "Done, it is finished." The system immediately displayed, Life Cube B. Increases the effect of life storage items by 1.3x. Kim Ho could not hide his excitement at the upgrade. Internally, he reflected, thanks to the amplification skill from the reward, I finished just in time. Meditating boosted my core to D rank. And the amplification skill itself leveled up from F to E. Duration increased from 1 to 2 minutes. Cooldown reduced from 60 to 50 minutes. Meanwhile, the red-haired boy could not stop tears from flowing as he benefited from Kim Ho's help. Using that skill consumes insane amounts of mana. Finally can breathe. Thanks to his elixirs too. Thank you. It seemed that, at this moment, Kim Ho had already devised a plan in his mind. Everything is ready. Time to spread some rumors. On his way carrying the box, he coincidentally ran into Nari and Buma. His heart lifted at the sight of them. Perfect timing. The natural druid genius from the Guilds Association. Kim Ho glanced at Nari and her tiger, already plotting in his mind. Park Nari, druid, sorry to bother you, but I need your help. Buma, meanwhile, turned its gaze toward the life cube in Kim Ho's hands. Even Mei knew what this meant. Animals are usually more sensitive to life energy. Nothing passes by without reacting to this. The tiger leapt into the life cube in Kim Ho's hands, which made Nari exclaim in surprise, "Ah, Buma, what are you doing?" Just as I thought. Nari blushed, reaching out to pull Buma from the life cube, but the tiger seemed to enjoy being inside. She exclaimed in frustration, "Sorry, I will get you out right now." "Buma, no, come out." Seeing Buma stubbornly refuse, Nari bent down to pick it up, but Kim Ho's mind was elsewhere, typical druid. She can sense life energy already. I will just go along with it. He squinted one eye, pretending to request, "I am in a hurry. Could you take the pet out?" Nari kept struggling, but Buma clung firmly inside. "Ah, sorry. It has never been like this before." After a brief struggle, Nari finally pulled Buma out of the life cube. At that moment, she seemed to recognize him. "Ah, are you in 3rd grade? Yeah." After greeting him, she turned away, embarrassed, but did not forget to apologize for the earlier incident. "There, sorry about that. You can go now." Kim Ho, satisfied with how his plan unfolded, thought, that is enough for the natural club to hear about it. Getting a season pass won't be difficult now. Finally, the real event begins. Returning to class, a silver-haired teacher was lecturing. It is quite common. The best example is a goblin warrior and a melee swordsman. Look at page 76. But Kim Ho was anxiously counting down the minutes until lunch. 1 more minute. 59 seconds left. Finally, the teacher closed the book and announced, "All right, class dismissed." 32 seconds. 0. Byung-chul stretched, relieved the pressure, when his attention was caught by a red light in front of him. Finally done. Huh. Beneath the podium, a red sphere hovered in mid-air, sparking his curiosity. What is that? What is it? Suddenly, the red sphere unleashed bolts of lightning toward Byung-chul, causing him to scream in shock. Seeing the red sparks on his body, the orange-haired boy was bewildered. What is happening? Nothing's wrong. Then a red number 1 appeared above his head. Worry and suspicion crossed his eyes. That sphere. Is it a barrier? It hurts my chest. Everyone in the classroom had numbers appear above their heads. They pointed at each other, stammering, "Hey, there is a number on your head. Wait, you have got one too." It turned out the sphere was part of a surprise inspection across the academy. Sudden artifact inspection at the Satrong Academy Prohibition Wave. Apparently, all dangerous or forbidden items were confiscated by the greenish-blue sphere. A detection field identifies students carrying prohibited items. Anything deemed inappropriate will be added to the ban list. The goal of the Prohibition Wave is to filter out illegal equipment. Kim Ho, witnessing all of this, was impressed. Finally it is starting. Wow, the sound effects are insane. Jo Byok must be behind this. Hyunwoo also seemed intrigued by the event. This looks worth watching. Kim Ho glanced at him and at Seo Yane, who was dozing on her desk, and sighed inwardly. Neither of these two brought anything at all. Kim Ho's gaze shifted down to Byung-chul, who looked utterly panicked. In his mind, he thought, this one's in real trouble. The orange-haired boy's face was etched with worry, and he kept muttering, "What the hell is this? What is going on?" Moving to stand beside him, Kim Ho patted his shoulder and reminded him, "Hey, didn't the club president warn you that there'd be inspectors today?" Byung-chul blinked. Finally remembering, "Ah, yeah. But I did not expect it to be like this." Tears welled up in Byung-chul's eyes as he pressed his hand to the board in front of him, lamenting, "Oh no. What do I do now? If they see all of this, the club president's going to kill me. Kim Ho sat beside him and offered help. Want me to help? Are you serious? Byung-chul hesitated, clearly unsure whether he could trust him, so Kim Ho shrugged and looked away. Fine, suit yourself. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Byung-chul quickly grabbed his hand, pleading, No, I would be honored, I beg you, big brother, I will do anything. Finally, Kim Ho agreed to help. You owe me for this. Overjoyed, Byung-chul bowed deeply, showing his gratitude. Yes, sir. Kim Ho placed the life cube on the floor and instructed him, put the items in here. Only rare ones and compacted gear. Byung-chul pointed nervously at the box. Won't putting them in. Kim Ho cut him off, urging him to act quickly. No time to think. Just put them in. Kim Ho glanced outside, keeping an eye on the classroom while Byung-chul hurriedly stashed all the dangerous items inside. Looks like it is almost time. The class is about to start. The disciplinary committee arrived promptly. Chun-yi stood at the center, commanding the students, everyone, sit still. Lightning bolts shot toward Kim Ho and Byung-chul as she demanded, You two, what are you doing? Under the desk, Kim Ho and Byung-chul scrambled upright. Kim Ho tried to cover, just sleeping, yeah. Byung-chul quickly approached Chun-yi to vouch, I swear, we were just napping a bit. Chun-yi, however, did not seem convinced and ordered him, hand over the prohibited items. Confidently, Chun-yi held up a blue sphere. I do not know how you managed to slip anything past, but now that the beastmen are here, this sphere catches everything. The sphere was brought before Kim Ho to test him, but it did not react at all. Chun-hai's eyes widened in surprise. Impossible. Unable to restrain his curiosity, Kim Ho asked, no reaction. Can I go now? Chun-yi, however, refused to let him off so easily. Sit down. Kim Ho did not get angry. He smiled and sat, thinking to himself with satisfaction, this is why I wanted to finish before Friday. Suddenly, a loud, piercing scream echoed through the room. Kim Ho immediately dropped to the ground, reaching for the object below, trying to prevent it from being taken. Chun-hai's touch on it sent a jolt through him, filling him with unease. An item that can bypass the bandwave. Wait, anyone who realizes its true value would probably kill to possess it, he thought. Successfully making it out of the classroom, Kim Ho and Byung-chul walked along the corridor. Byung-chul glanced at him with genuine gratitude. Time for the exchange. Wow, seriously, thanks to you, I would probably be stuck scrubbing floors or hiding in a corner otherwise. Kim Ho let out a light sigh, giving him a sly wink. You will repay me later. Consider it a loan. Byung-chul placed his hand on his chest, nodding solemnly. Of course, big brother, I will never forget this debt. Glancing at his orange-haired companion, Kim Ho suggested, just take the banned items to your clubroom. Byung-chul readily agreed. Sure, the club president actually wants to see you too. Kim Ho's mind raced, from smuggling goods to causing trouble. Demon of the Shadow Dragon Academy, Thieves Guild Club. At that moment, a blonde-haired boy flung open the clubroom door and called out, Big sis, we are back. Before he could step inside, a girl from within kicked him back onto the street, scolding him sharply, I told you to avoid causing trouble this week, did you get into anything? She kept stamping on Byung-chul, demanding, I said this is important, did not I? He could do nothing but curl up, shielding his head and begging, I am sorry, please stop. Kim Ho bowed politely, a small smile on his face, and greeted the girl, hello, madam. Reporting in, I am Kim Ho. The girl, still pressing her foot against Byung-chul, introduced herself, I am Dang Guyoung. You probably guessed I am the club president. Guyoung lifted her foot more firmly onto Byung-chul, then turned her attention to Kim Ho, eyes glinting with curiosity and desire. I heard about today. One of your items bypassed the bandwave. Let me see it. All right. Her gaze fell on the life cube on the table, and she could not hide her astonishment. Wow, this is the real deal. Honestly, you have to see it with your own eyes to believe it. She raised both hands, almost as if she wanted to seize the box for herself. An item that can trick the bandwave. I would snatch it in a heartbeat if I could, she thought. Kim Ho quickly intervened, warning her sternly, you will get caught immediately. He did not forget to remind her of the risks, don't think the Thieves Guild leadership would not notice. And do you even know about anti-theft wards? Hearing that, Guyoung muttered under her breath, turning her head slightly. What? Magical technology? Guyoung flopped back against the chair, resting her head on her hands, feigning indifference as Kim Ho got straight to the point. So, you came here because you want something, right? Don't worry, I can tell you are sharp, she said, stretching a hand across the room with a casual wave. Look around, there is nothing here. This place is dirt poor. Kim Ho remained calm, meeting her gaze directly. That is fine. What I want is within your ability. What is it? No longer hiding his intentions, he spoke clearly. I want permission to enter the temporary warehouse. Hearing this, Gu Young's eyes sharpened with suspicion. You, who are you? Her temporary warehouse had long been locked. It was where confiscated items waited to be destroyed. Many dangerous artifacts were stored inside, and something unusual had occurred. Normally, items were checked only at the end of the week and then moved to a secret vault no one knew the location of. Yet, Kim Ho seemed aware of the timing of this anomaly. I am guessing the latest it happens is tonight or tomorrow, he said casually, his words heightening her suspicion. The disciplinary committee sent you here, did not they? Waving his hand to deny her suspicion, he explained, What? No, it is not like that. I am not associated with them. I just need something. Gu Young remained composed, rejecting his request outright. I appreciate it, but I do not let anyone into the warehouse for free. Took too much effort to set up. Even if we are acquainted, it does not matter. Kim Ho rested his hand on the life cube, continuing confidently. The disciplinary committee is guarding the temporary warehouse. Right, getting in is not easy, and escaping is even harder. With a calm, confident expression, he assured her, but if you guarantee a safe exit, that should be enough for an entry pass, right? Gu Young sat up straight, resting her hand on her chin, hesitating slightly. Thinking about it, if someone could sneak in. Kim Ho added a condition for his entry, and when I leave, we can divide the items with no lingering ties between us. Judging by the look on her face, he felt certain. She can't refuse now. She will participate, won't she? A group of 6 stood atop the hill, looking down at the school below. Gu Young, face masked, turned to them, questioning, is everyone here? Behind her, 2 blonde boys and a girl taking notes watched. One of the blonde boys frowned in suspicion, asking, yeah, but who is this? Gu Young pointed toward Kim Ho, also masked, and introduced him. I have added another member to this operation. Meet each other. The 2 blonde boys gave him skeptical, unwelcoming glances. Bringing a rookie for such an important mission, can we trust him? Meanwhile, Byung-chul ran up cheerfully, ignoring their doubts. Ah, nice to meet you. Don't mind those 2, let us have a good cooperation. A hand moved deftly across a tablet. After some programming, Davin finally spoke. 1 minute left, madam. Gu Young arranged positions for her. Good. Davin, support from outside. Everyone, get ready. She reminded Kim Ho about his role. Don't attract attention. Be careful. If you get in, grab the small, rare items first. Black mana swirled around her feet as she signaled, all right. On her command, the team dashed forward. Kim Ho glanced at Gu Young running ahead and thought, Level B stealth step complete, life cube mission done, won't need magical tech for a while. He placed a hand on her back to acquire her skill. Simultaneously, the system interface popped up before him, using copy. Target, stealth step B added. Copying skills 2 per 2, 1 hummingbird E, 2 magical tech B, stealth step B. Your steps are now faster and lighter. Meanwhile, Yoan stood guard in front of the building, humming as he surveyed the area. Suddenly, purple butterflies appeared, landing on his shoulder, surprising him. Huh, butterflies. Then he realized what they truly were. Panic rising. Illusion drones, what? In an instant, ethereal cords bound his body and gagged him, leaving him helpless against the approaching figures. On the 3rd floor of the old building, a foot slipped through a window. The person muttered in annoyance, such a hassle. So many protective spells. Hearing the noise, a disciplinary committee member ran out and caught sight of Byung-chul rushing in. Who is there? Perfect timing. Gripping his weapon, the committee member panicked. An intruder. Luckily, the twin blonde brothers appeared simultaneously, subduing and restraining the committee member. The 4 left the restrained committee member behind as they continued moving deeper inside. Before heading off, Byung-chul reminded Kim Ho, just stay still, struggling will only make it worse. Gu Young ran ahead to scout, her hand gesturing for everyone to follow. The temporary storage is just around the corner. Wait a moment, check the situation, then we go in. She conjured a mirror in her hand, through which they could see Si-hun standing guard in front of the room, axe in hand. Seeing him, Gu Young froze momentarily. Damn it. Why's the goblin-looking guy on guard? Handling him alone will be tough. Kim Ho glanced at her with concern. quietly calculating. Level 3 with an A-ranked axe, nicknamed the Hellcleaver. This is going to be rough for Dang Guyang. I only planned to sneak in, but looks like I will have to intervene. He whispered through telepathy, you know how to use the shadow domain, right? Guyang's eyes widened slightly in surprise. How did you know? The two continued coordinating silently. Kim Ho cut straight to the point. No time to explain. Can you use it? Guyang hesitated. I just learned the basics. Only C rank. Kim Ho immediately applied his power to temporarily boost her skill. There, that is enough. Using amplification, shadow domain skill raised from C to A duration, 0 hours 1 minute 59s. Cooldown, 0 hours 49 minutes 59s. Guyang turned to him, astonished. What? How did you do that? No time. Let us go, he said, moving forward. Despite her suspicion who exactly is he, Guyang focused her energy and summoned the swarm of butterflies, her shadow domain. The butterflies swarmed toward Sihun, who scowled in anger. Damn it, starlight suckers. He swung his axe, attempting to strike them down. But alone, he could not handle the sheer number of butterflies and could only scream in frustration. A surge of purple light radiated from Sihun's position. Against the wall, Kim Ho and Guyang waited for the right moment. The butterflies quickly enveloped Sihun and his axe in a cocoon, immobilizing him completely. Seeing him trapped, Guyang could hardly believe her eyes. That brutish axe wielder taken down in a single strike must be equivalent to a rank. She glanced sharply at Kim Ho and commanded, we will talk later. Kim Ho merely replied calmly, covering for the moment, let us just finish the mission first. Guyang stood outside, directing everyone, grab the items and get out. Understood. Kim Ho held the life cube in his hands, quietly thrilled. Time to pick out what I need. He scanned the room, recalling, the prohibited item list at the Dragon Slaying Academy only restricts things. Based on side effects, anything that harms the body or mind is banned. He picked up a mana stone, examining it with satisfaction. So this is it. An item banned for elemental punishment, a stun and paralysis stone. But with my S-rank elemental resistance, I can nullify its effects. After collecting what he needed, he carefully stored the items in the life cube. That is enough items. Now to find some skill books. Skills with elemental punishment are usually quite strong. Kim Ho moved to the shelf with the books, picking up the first one, curiosity sparking in his mind. Let us see. There has to be something useful here, right? His attention landed on a glowing book. Holding it, he could not hide his excitement. Perfect. I do not have any combat skills yet. I need to learn this immediately. Suddenly, the door swung open. A disciplinary committee member appeared, standing outside with a mocking expression. Working late, must be tough. Behind him, Chun Ki emerged just past Sung Jae. He seemed to have identified the intruders. Starting the semester with a theft, Dang Guyang, the orange-haired man had just questioned them moments ago. He was introduced as Song Chun Ki, head of discipline. The blue-haired man was GWAK Sung Jae, a committee member. Guyang feigned casual interest as she turned toward them but inwardly thought, what could have brought the head of discipline down here himself? First GWAK Sung Jae, now Song Chun Ki. Chun Ki's face turned stern as he ordered everyone, enough. Drop the items and obediently follow us to the disciplinary office. Guyang rose, energy gathering along her arm in preparation for an attack. The longer we hesitate, the worse it will be. Then so be it. She raised her arm high, ready to strike, and called to her team, split up and run. Smashing her hand into the ground, she created a protective dome of white energy around her team. Shadow Shelter, a dark dome to conceal teammates inside. Duration, 0 hours 5 minutes zeros. Seizing the opportunity, Guyang and her teammates escaped from the room. Sung Jae held a communication orb, sending out orders, the intruders have just left the storage. Do not let a single one escape. Everyone scattered to escape. Kim Ho dashed into the hallway, moving swiftly but suddenly something shot straight toward him. Fortunately, with his reflexes, he dodged a flying wooden plank. From ahead, Sung Jae appeared unexpectedly. Kim Ho thought, when did he even get here? Half of his body was surrounded by a green aura. Looking at Kim Ho, he seemed unable to identify him. I have catalogued most of the Thieves Guild members, but I have never seen you before. First year, Hearing the accusations, Kim Ho remained completely still, refusing to respond. Sung Jae, reading his intent, smirked. Not saying anything so I won't reveal your voice, clever. Sung Jae then summoned sharp steel spikes from the ground, aiming to trap Kim Ho. He exuded confidence. Then surrender. You do not really have a choice. But with his lightning-fast reflexes, Kim Ho slipped effortlessly through the spikes. Seeing him evade so easily, Sung Jae activated 2 cannons at his feet, preparing another assault. Hummingbird, this won't help you. Wooden projectiles shot forward, but Kim Ho transformed into a hummingbird, weaving seamlessly between the flying bullets. With a sudden burst, he struck Sung Jae's shoulder with a solid punch. The orange-haired man's eyes widened in surprise at Kim Ho's strength. I have never seen control like this before. Without defensive magic, I would be done for. Kim Ho swiftly moved behind Sung Jae, who, begrudgingly impressed, muttered, not bad for a first year. But just as Kim Ho prepared his next move, he froze. Something unexpected appeared before him. Sung Jae slammed his hand onto the ground, instantly summoning cannons from all 4 directions, their barrels aimed squarely at Kim Ho. Escape was nearly impossible. Not so fast, he declared solemnly. It is over. The cannons unleashed a barrage of countless projectiles, each aimed with deadly precision. Kim Ho stared ahead, inwardly amused. Arrogant fool. Suddenly, a surge of light appeared before him, causing him to hesitate. No one should survive this. What is this heat? One of Kim Ho's arms ignited in flames as he clenched his fist, and Sung Jae's expression shifted, realization dawning. That skill. Do not tell me. At that moment, a solid wall materialized before Sung Jae, blocking his advance. His face twisted in anger, and he muttered under his breath, this has to be a forbidden skill. Tam thatch bitch. Only a madman would dare use this. Damn it. On the other side, Kim Ho clenched his fists, flames roaring along his arm. With a single punch, he shattered the wall, sending Sung Jae flying backward. Hellfire Fist. Watching his fiery hand, Kim Ho marveled inwardly, harder than I thought. Controlling this fire takes effort. Sung Jae lay sprawled on the ground, and Kim Ho's mind quickly ran through the possible consequences. No mortal wounds, so the school won't intervene. But GWAK Sung Jae's faction. The Emerald Tower and the disciplinary committee will surely step in. Rubbing his temples, Kim Ho tried to calm himself. They will trace my tracks everywhere. Annoying, but they won't find me. From behind, he heard murmurs and realized the urgency of the situation. That noise. From over there. Damn, I need to move before we get caught. 2 disciplinary committee members approached quickly. Spotting Sung Jae, they called out, Senior, get him to the infirmary. Meanwhile, inside the disciplinary committee's truth room, Guyang had been summoned for questioning. She seemed impatient, snapping, how long are you keeping me here? Just deduct the points and let me go. Chun Ki turned and left the room with a grim expression. My business here is done. I am heading out exhausted. Seeing him leave, Guyang exhaled in relief, and even Sihun simply said, go ahead. Sihun placed a stack of documents before Guyang. Alright, look at this first. Cooperate, and it will be over quickly. Head of the disciplinary committee, Oh Se-hoon. Seeing the list of missing items, Guyang could not hide her surprise. What is this? Kim Ho got some seriously expensive stuff. Sihun wasted no time and went straight to the point. Guyang, you understand, right? Somehow, a lot of items have disappeared. Guyang calmly returned the documents, feigning innocence. I do not know. It is the first time I have seen this. Sihun's face tightened as he warned her. If you keep denying it, everyone will bear the responsibility. Finally, Guyang accepted responsibility, stating firmly, fine, I will take it. Hearing her confession, Sihun exhaled in relief and forced a wry smile. Knew it. After taking full responsibility, Guyang left cheerfully. Before she departed, Sihun did not forget to warn her, tomorrow, the disciplinary committee will act. Alright, I am heading out now. Meanwhile, the 4 others were still under Chunhai's watch. Seeing Guyang return, they immediately asked about her situation. Sister, is everything alright? What will the committee do? She did not answer directly, instead offering encouragement, you have all worked hard. I will explain more back at the clubroom. Looking at the group before her, Guyang sensed something was off. She raised her hand and began counting, wait. Why are there only 4 of you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th? Chunyi, noticing Guyang's reaction, sneered, bold as ever, still pretending at this point. Her words confused Guyang. Huh, what do you mean? Chunyi did not hold back, revealing Kim Ho's actions right there. A member of your group used the Hellfire Fist. Senior GWAK Sung Jae is in the infirmary could have been a huge problem. Hearing this, Guyoung's expression soured, and she thought inwardly, huh. GWAK Sung Jae ended up in the infirmary, and with the Hellfire Fist. That kid's impressive. Suddenly, a voice echoed from a room. Hey, Kim Ho, is your hand alright? Seeing Kim Ho's hand unharmed, Guyoung looked surprised. Huh, it is fine, you said you used the Hellfire Fist. Kim Ho shook his arm slightly, explaining, I would not use it without a countermeasure. Her worry eased. Indeed, he prepared carefully. Guyoung immediately thought of the items he had taken and asked, alright, the items are safe, right? Kim Ho quickly placed the living cube before her. Yes, here you go. Seeing the stolen items made her mouth water in admiration. Wow, so beautiful, how can they be so vivid? Kim Ho promptly set the items down on the table, returning them to Guyoung. The deal's done. There, consider it more than fair. Carrying the large box, Kim Ho prepared to leave. I am heading out now. But Guyoung called him back, offering, wait, Kim Ho, why do not you join our club? She lightly nudged his arm, suggesting, I will treat you well. Kim Ho wanted confirmation. You are recruiting me. Guyoung pointed at him, evaluating, I have been watching you. Proud, ambitious, a true thief. Kim Ho could only smile wryly, not sure if that is an insult or an invitation. He quickly clarified for her, no, I will pass. Hearing his flat refusal, she looked surprised. Huh, why? Kim Ho revealed his reasoning, it is about the living cube, is not it? You're planning to sell it. He also wanted to exchange it for something else. I need 4 seasonal passes to the special training room. 4 passes, that is all. Hearing this condition, Guyoung frowned. 4 passes just to bypass the anti-magic waves, isn't that a bit steep? Kim Ho disclosed the truth behind the living cube, the anti-magic waves are secondary. It has another main power. Its primary ability. Well, I will show you. But to make her fully understand, he added a condition. I will show you its description, so do me a favor first. Hearing this, her expression darkened. So stingy. What favor? Actually, the request Kim Ho wanted her to carry out was very simple. He just wanted her to deliver a message. Just pass along a message to the head of the Arcane Technology Club. It is from a first year who has completed the 10x10x10 block. Upon hearing this, Guyoung immediately agreed without hesitation. Alright, not too difficult. Fine, show me the description. Once the final agreement was reached, Kim Ho revealed the living cube's main ability to Guyoung, leaving her utterly surprised. What? The living cube's effect increases 1.3 times. Block B, no way. Something like this actually exists. Seeing the full information panel on the living cube, Guyoung finally understood why Kim Ho had asked for such a high price in exchange. No wonder it is so expensive. Kim Ho placed the cube before her and asked, all set, I am heading out. After turning and leaving, Guyoung expressed her genuine thoughts to him. Kim Ho, even so, I still want to recruit you. She smiled, hoping he would reconsider her offer, think it over carefully. Kim Ho let out a gentle sigh and replied respectfully, yes, madam. A few days later, in the courtyard of the Dragon Slaying Academy, Kim Ho and Yane were walking together. Seeing her look exhausted, he asked with concern, did you rest enough over the weekend? Seeing her drooping posture, he worried, really, it is only Monday morning and you already look worn out. What happened? Kim Ho noticed 2 people trailing behind them and guessed their intentions. Following us. Planning to confront me directly, perhaps from the Emerald Tower or the Nature Club. With conflicting thoughts in his mind, he ultimately decided, forget them for now. But it is annoying, maybe I should deal with this. CO Yane, you go ahead. He turned to the 2 behind them and explained to Yane, I have urgent business. I will handle it and get to class immediately. Yane, noticing the 2 trailing them, did not ask further and quickly agreed, alright. Turning back to face the 2 followers, Kim Ho questioned them directly. What are you 2 following me for? If you have business, speak up. Ji-chul, no longer hiding, revealed their affiliation, making Suyeon next to him slightly anxious. You have exposed yourself, which makes it easy for us. Really? We are members of the Emerald Tower, got it. Suyeon, slightly embarrassed, added, our club president wants you to come. Can you come with us? Kim Ho firmly denied any connection and challenged them. I have nothing to do with the Emerald Tower. If you want to meet, go see us directly. Seeing that negotiation was not working, Ji-chul put on his gloves, preparing to take action. Talking does not work, no drinks accepted. Now it is time for punishment by force. At that moment, Kim Ho transformed into the hummingbird, darting straight toward Ji-chul while agreeing with his words, I agree. Using his ability, he struck Jichol directly, making him yelp in pain. Suyeon, standing nearby, immediately recognized the technique Kim Ho had used, hummingbird. Surrounded by a surge of energy, Kim Ho announced firmly, "If you want another hit, come at me. I do not have time for this." Seeing her teammate in such a state, Suyeon quickly raised her hands in surrender, forcing a smile while thinking internally, No, sorry for bothering you. The hummingbird's movements are too erratic. There is no need to take unnecessary hits. She knelt down and supported Jichol, explaining, "I will take him back, so you can go ahead." Receiving a satisfied nod from Kim Ho, he immediately turned and left. Good, at least someone can assess the situation. Suyeon helped Jichol to his feet and questioned the rumors she would heard. So, the talk that he is a coward is not true. Jichol, still unafraid and boastful, shouted, "Nothing like that, just lucky this time, next time, I will make sure to." Before he could finish, a bullet whizzed past his head from behind. Another one struck near Suyeon as she tried to question, "Sniper. From where?" The bullet hit her, forcing her to jerk back, complaining, "Why me too?" Both Suyeon and Jichol ended up sprawled on the ground, incapacitated. Meanwhile, in the classroom, as the teacher lectured from the podium, Yane quietly took a seat beside Kim Ho. The reason the dungeon's layout is so complex is to drain as much energy as possible before reaching the core. If you run out of resources before getting there, the conquest fails. Seeing her sit behind him, he asked, but she did not answer, "Why are you later than me? Where have you been?" She remained silent, bowing her head to continue listening. Kim Ho noted, "This dungeon raid is timed." The teacher spoke enthusiastically about the surface dungeon to the class. The surface dungeon can be conquered multiple times in practice mode, but points are only awarded once. For the Goblin Swamp map, to complete the raid, you must reach the totem and destroy it within 5 minutes. It is best to practice finding the most efficient route before attempting the actual challenge. That is it for today. After class, Byung-chul nudged Hyunwoo on the shoulder. "Hey, Ho Hyunwoo, come to the dungeon with me, just the two of us." Hyunwoo seemed surprised at the invitation. "With me?" Kim Ho encouraged him, "Don't hesitate, just go with him." With Kim Ho's approval, Hyunwoo smiled and accepted. "If Kim Hung says so, alright. I will go with you, Shin Hung." Byung-chul winked at him from behind, making Hyunwoo blush and chuckle. "Smart move." Kim Ho glanced over, already realizing, I guess he has already got someone to go with him. Yane gently placed her hand on Kim Ho's and said, "Come with me." A hand gripped Jichol tightly against the bookshelf, scolding him, "Pathetic." The man taunted Jichol's incompetence further. "Your brother's in the disciplinary committee, and yet you got handled by a thief, damn it. And with 2 more people, you have really stained my name too." Jichol struggled under the grip while Suyeon was forced to kneel, her hands pressed to the floor. The man continued to berate them. "What is this, a famed swordsman, and you still can't handle a couple of people?" Finally, the man turned and walked away, releasing Jichol, muttering under his breath, "Pathetic." Looking at the piles of books scattered on the floor, he sighed heavily, muttering to himself, "I knew this would turn into a disaster, but I still need to meet him directly." The blue-haired girl standing beside him was Ha Suyeon, the head of the nature club, while Jung-hwa, sitting nearby, announced firmly, "Yes, an official meeting. The Emerald Tower's reputation has hit rock bottom." Jung-hwa added with conviction, "That strange box of his won't make up for this. If he dares insult the Emerald Tower, he better be prepared to pay." Jichol crawled toward Jung-hwa, pleading for a chance. "I will make amends, I won't make the same mistake again." But Jung-hwa only mocked him. "Do you think you have the right to speak now?" Jichol, desperate, tried again, "It was my negligence, please give me one more chance." Jung-hwa showed no leniency and warned him sharply, "Mess up again, and you are expelled from the tower." "Still want to try?" Determined to regain his dignity, Jichol had no choice but to agree. "Yes, I won't disappoint you." Jung-hwa then summoned a golem and handed it to Jichol, instructing him, "I will lend you this golem. Use it to dominate." Jichol bowed deeply, swearing, "I swear I will win." At the Goblin Swamp, Kim Ho and Yane were training. The monsters in the trees screeched continuously, and Kim Ho reminded her, "No rush, this is just practice." Noticing the system panel beside him, Kim Ho mentally calculated, to get the highest rewards from both single and duo dungeons. Side Quest. Tactical Challenge Week 2. Objective: conquer either single or duo dungeon. Deadline: Sunday evening. Reward depends on remaining time out of 5 minutes. Looks like it needs to be completed in under 1 minute. Two monsters quickly appeared, rushing toward Kim Ho and Yane, preparing to attack. Single dungeon is easy, but duo dungeon is the real challenge. Yane quickly aimed her gun at the two monsters and fired. Kim Ho observed her, thinking, I could teach Seo Yane their attack trajectories, but it would not help her growth. He smiled subtly, thinking, she needs to figure it out on her own during practice mode. At that moment, the lead monster appeared, Elite Goblin, waterlogged. Kim Ho immediately charged forward to confront it. Kim Ho glanced at Yane, wanting to gauge her thoughts. Do you want to dodge it like before or take it down? Will killing it give points? Yane stared at the monster in front of them and instructed firmly. You will earn an extra 120 points if you take down the boss. Go for it. Kim Ho immediately summoned his hummingbird, agreeing to her request. Got it, I will support you. His hummingbird struck the goblin in the stomach and arms, staggering it. Yane positioned herself beside the monster, aiming her gun steadily. The silver-haired girl fired a shot that struck the goblin's head. A crack appeared atop the goblin's skull, and its red, furious eyes fixed on Yane. It quickly turned around, swinging its blade dangerously close to her head, enough to take her life in an instant. Unfazed, Yane kept her aim steady on the goblin. Kim Ho reached out and reminded her, activate the amplifier, do not rush it. Yane held her gun aimed at the goblin's chest, while Kim Ho, behind her, enlarged his hummingbird, upgrading hummingbird skill from E to C. Seizing the opportunity, the goblin was frozen in place, unable to move, and Yane fired directly at it. The system panel immediately popped up with the reward notification, kill points. Time remaining, 0, 18. Additional points, 120. Critical hit, 149. Time remaining, 2, 29. Points awarded, 149. Bonus, 500 points. Total, 649 points. Kim Ho approached, praising Yane's combat ability. First try, and you did great. You could even get faster. Yane blushed slightly and spoke up, about earlier. She looked at him and asked, can you also teach me how to make magical bullets? Seeing her eagerness to learn, Kim Ho felt pleased. Looks like she is more motivated than I thought. That boss encounter must have stung a bit. Without hesitation, he agreed to teach her the skill. All right, let us check your gear and then head to the training center. Okay. At the training center, at the shooting range, rows of targets were lined up. Kim Ho explained, today we are going to learn the shooting skill. He elaborated for Yane, you can now create magical bullets and a gun as tools, but you have not yet linked them together. Taking a bullet, he demonstrated in her hand. Let me give you a visual example. Suppose your hand is the gun. He quickly shot the bullet at the target ahead, illustrating for Yane, focus your mana and release it with a flick of your hand. That is basically how shooting works. He shook his hand to show the bullet had vanished and added, it is similar to creating bullets. Do you want to try using your hand first? Yane quickly followed Kim Ho's instructions. Alright, focus the mana at the tip of your finger. The bullet flew straight toward Kim Ho, leaving him helpless. Flick it. Why is it going backward? Seeing she could not get it right immediately, he switched tactics. Forget creating the bullet for now. Just try shooting mana first. Kim Ho stepped aside and told Yane, keep practicing. I am going to grab something for dinner. But she called him back, rummaging through her coat pocket. Wait a sec. She pulled out a black card and held it out to him. Here, take it. Kim Ho was briefly surprised, thinking to himself, a black card. Rich. He went to the cafeteria counter to order, where two girls from the disciplinary committee were chatting. Limited edition, totally worth the wait. Suddenly, the green-haired girl from the committee waved at Kim Ho. Hey, you there. Chunyi, eating nearby, looked over curiously. Who is that? Kim Ho waved back cheerfully, causing Chunyi to flinch and break her spoon in surprise. Oh. It is you. She got up, fuming internally. No, this is actually good. I need to check something. Sorry. She extended her hand toward Kim Ho. Let me see your hand. He looked slightly suspicious. Why all of a sudden? Chunyi mentally pieced together everything she would observed about Kim Ho. The mysterious thief used Hellfire Fist in the temporary storage, mastered the hummingbird skill like a toy, knows the thief club. He is the prime suspect. Just check his hand for burns if he used Hellfire Fist. Kim Ho was surprised by her straightforward request, didn't expect you would be interested in that. Chunyi, on the other hand, felt pleased. Yes. He is nervous now. Without hiding anything, Kim Ho extended his hands toward her. Go ahead, take a look. Or are you hiding something? Here, see for yourself. Chunyi examined his hands but was taken aback. They were completely unscathed. Both hands, really, professional. No way, not a single mark. Seeing her hold his hands a little too long, Kim Ho prompted her, "Can I have them back? How long do you intend to stare?" Embarrassed, Chunyi quickly let go and looked away. "Sorry." Just then, Kim Ho called her back curiously, "Wait. I thought you were checking my hands. What about my love life?" Chunyi turned with an annoyed expression and replied, "Troubled. Very difficult." Watching her storm off in a huff, Kim Ho already guessed her intentions. Looks like they are still searching for the culprit in the temporary warehouse incident. But I have played the innocent act long enough. I should be cleared of suspicion soon. The next day, Kim Ho and Yane continued their training in the forest. He instructed her, "Just do it like we practiced, got it?" Yane aimed her gun straight ahead. She fired directly at the goblins in front of her. The goblins fell back immediately after being hit. With Kim Ho providing support, Yane quickly closed in on the nearest goblin. Her bullet flew and shattered the weapon in its hand, causing it to collapse instantly. Kim Ho glanced at his own hand as the system portal appeared with a notification. Time remaining, 1 minute 20 seconds. Goblins killed, 28. Elite monsters killed. 149 points. Time remaining 3 minutes 48 seconds equals 228 points. Bonus, 500 points. Total, 728 points. Seeing the time and Yane's performance, Kim Ho could not help but praise her, impressive. All that practice yesterday really paid off, huh? Yane smiled at him, and it seemed this was the first time she had smiled at him. She is smiling. Kim Ho glanced at Yane and offered some advice. "The dungeon won't be too difficult, but just to be safe, keep practicing a few more times." She immediately replied, "Got it." He watched her retreating back, smiling to himself. She even managed to clear the double dungeon, so she should be fine. For now, let us just focus on our mission. At that moment, the system displayed a notification, entering the goblin swamp. Stepping through the gate, Kim Ho confidently declared, "All right, let us handle this quickly." Flames erupted from his hands, blazing intensely. With a powerful punch forward, the fire spread in all directions. Any monsters caught in the attack were instantly engulfed in violent flames. The forest around them was almost entirely scorched. Sweating, he forced a smile and thought to himself, "Even if this is a practice dungeon, I might have overdone it. Just as I suspected, controlling this is tricky. I will need to reset before leaving." The system displayed the results. Time, 4 minutes 42 seconds. Elite monsters defeated, 120. Remaining time, 7 minutes 28 seconds equals 448 points. Bonus, 500 points. Total, 948 points. He continued thinking, "I even got the bonus for defeating the boss. Maximum reward secured." Simultaneously, the system notified, "Weekly Tactical Challenge, Side Quest complete. Dungeon Challenge Objectives, Single Dungeon. Remaining 7 minutes 28 seconds over 5 minutes. Double Dungeon. Remaining 3 hours 48 minutes over 5 minutes. Rewards increased. No need to overthink it. I targeted this attribute from the start. Perfect fit for my path." The system prompted him to choose his reward. Select your reward. Prosperity Seed. Enhances reinforcement skills and recovery. Illusionary Eye. Enhances illusion type skills and debuff effects. Western Wind's Blessing. Enhances wind type skills. Choosing a versatile support that could both deal damage and provide aid, the system confirmed, Western Wind's Blessing acquired. Kim Ho thought, a wind element support class. After finishing the battle, he stepped out, only to hear a voice call, "Are you Kim Ho?" Junghwa approached and introduced herself, "I am Junghwa, master of the Emerald Tower." Suyeon, standing beside her, added, "I am Suyeon, head of the Nature Club. Shall we talk somewhere else?" They moved to a private spot. Suyeon bowed slightly and said, "First, I apologize for what happened. I was rude in my haste. I am sorry." Hearing this, Kim Ho asked, "I heard you are here because of a special item. Is that right?" Suyeon then requested, "May I see it directly?" Kim Ho happily retrieved the box and agreed, "Of course." Nearby, Buma immediately caught the scent from the box and leapt straight into it. Nari panicked, shouting, "Buma, no." Watching the scene, Junghwa was surprised and muttered, "So it is true." Her embarrassed voice continued, "Buma, come out." Kim Ho was not bothered and laughed, "It is fine, just let it be." Suyeon also watched in astonishment, Buma really likes that box. Next, she looked up, beads of sweat forming on her forehead, and spoke hesitantly, it is because of its aura. This seems to be an incredibly powerful life-type artifact. May I see the item description? On the club's honor, I will keep it confidential for you, Kim Ho replied gently. If both of you are that serious, then sure. He watched in surprise as she widened her eyes and questioned. The effect of a life item increases by 1.3 times. Suyeon frowned slightly, pausing before commenting, truly an unimaginable artifact. Kim Ho crossed his arms, pondering briefly before responding nonchalantly, I am not sure if I would sell it. Simply possessing it is already highly valuable. Suddenly, Junghwa spoke up in a serious tone. An item shines brightest in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. Don't waste it, let us have it. Kim Ho, feeling a little pleased, rubbed his nose and smirked to himself. They are being so proactive it is a bit embarrassing. Then he pretended to deliberate aloud. I understand your intentions, but I still need to think it over. She immediately offered, what do you want in exchange? I can give you something of equal value. Kim Ho's expression turned pleased, now we are talking. Behind them, Nari was quietly watching the interaction. Casually, he made his request, 4 tickets to the special training season. Specifically, 1 season ticket plus something equivalent in value to 3 more tickets. I want a blank skill book. Both Suyeon and Junghwa's eyes widened in surprise at his condition. Junghwa slammed her hand on the table and shouted angrily, this is outrageous, aren't you being a little greedy? Suyeon crossed her arms and said sternly, the season tickets are fine, but a blank skill book is far too expensive. Kim Ho did not want to waste time arguing and calmly replied, then forget it. I am leaving. He began to walk away when suddenly someone shouted urgently, wait. It was Nari. She stood up and walked over slowly, speaking nervously. I heard what was being discussed. I have a blank skill book. She turned back anxiously and asked, Nari, really, is that okay? She shyly continued, I have not found a good skill to use it on yet. Otherwise, it would just sit in the storage gathering dust. And besides, her expression showed slight helplessness, but she continued. Buma clearly likes it. Kim Ho glanced down and smiled. Buma inside the box was visibly delighted. Seeing this, Suyeon exhaled and said lightly, fine, if you want it, go ahead, Nari. Nari's face brightened, thank you, sis. Then Suyeon added, all conditions are met, so there is no need to waste time. Kim Ho, pleased, replied, quick and efficient, that is how it should be. Both sides exchanged items smoothly. He picked up what he needed and smiled lightly, trade completed. Matters settled. Suddenly, from another table, Ji-chul slammed his hand down, stood up, and shouted, hold on, I still have business with you. Kim Ho, I challenge you. Kim Ho, uninterested, immediately declined, no need. Ji-chul was stunned and exclaimed, what? Then Kim Ho raised his voice, questioning, so you want to fight, does that mean I have to fight you? Ji-chul immediately clenched his fists, grinding his teeth as he shot back. Don't you have any sense of honor? Kim Ho was not about to back down either and barked in return. Bringing someone to another council and still talking about honor, really, Ji-chul froze, stammering, that is. Kim Ho turned and walked away, declaring nonchalantly, I do not want to waste time on pointless punching. Go ahead, act like you have already won and show off. Ji-chul, unwilling to accept this, called after him, wait. Suddenly, Ji-chul held up a VIP card, furrowing his brow as he proposed seriously. Then let us bet something. Surely this is worth your time, right? The system flashed information, VIP ticket. This action successfully caught Kim Ho's attention. He turned around, a smirk forming as he thought, generous, or not you, and replied calmly, fine, I agree. Ji-chul then pointed at Kim Ho and irritably said, I will let you choose the day. Kim Ho tapped his chin, thinking for a moment before answering. 2 days will do. Curious, Ji-chul asked, why 2 days? Kim Ho took out a book and honestly replied, I need time to master this. Junghwa immediately shook his head, snickering with contempt, 2 days and you expect to learn and master a skill, fine, let us see what you can do. Kim Ho paid no attention to the sarcasm, confidently asserting, you won't be disappointed. The scene shifts to the morning 2 days later, at the arena. Gu-young stood high in the stands, frowning in confusion, Kim Ho. Why would he accept the challenge? That Junghwa guy is surely planning something. Byung-chul, standing next to her, smiled and said, you are here. In front of them, Hyunwoo and Yane were already present. Since Kim Ho accepted, he is probably going to win, Gu-young muttered, exhaling and frowning. Yeah, but something still feels off. She furrowed her brow further, sweating slightly, thinking to herself, I need to stay alert just in case. Meanwhile, on the arena floor, Jichol put on his gloves and praised, already showing up without running, that is commendable. Kim Ho faced him calmly, no reason to refuse when there is a VIP ticket involved. Junghwa, watching from above, announced, this match will be recorded for everyone to see. Do you both agree? Both immediately answered in unison, we agree. After confirming with both parties, Junghwa declared, then let us begin. Both of you, enter the arena. The system started transporting them, and the information appeared. Jagged stone map, deathmatch rules, 10-minute limit. Points, Kim Ho vs GWAK Jichol, 100%. Start. As they stepped into the arena, Jichol, unable to contain his arrogance, shouted, last time you just got lucky. But this time is different, let me show you the real gap in our abilities. Kim Ho did not pay it any mind and casually swung his hand, unleashing his power. Jichol shouted in shock, Earth. What the hell is this? His body suddenly wavered as if something had destabilized him. Kim Ho stood there, confused, asking calmly, what are you trying to show? Meanwhile, Jichol crashed heavily onto the sandy ground. It is just dirt, won't hurt. Stop showing off, Kim Ho remarked. Jichol gritted his teeth, forcing himself up with a hiss of frustration. Then, with a surge of anger, Jichol formed a massive sphere of earth, yelling, let us see if you can stay calm now. The name of the skill appeared above him, Earth Cluster. He hurled the massive chunk of earth directly at Kim Ho. Kim Ho, unfazed, simply extended his hand and lightly deflected the attack to the side. He then smiled faintly, redirecting the force back toward Jichol. Seeing the attack rebound toward him, Jichol panicked, sweat pouring down his face. What? How is this happening? What did you just do? A loud explosion rang out as Kim Ho's counterattack connected. He curved the corner of his mouth into a smug, victorious smile. Jichol was struck by his own attack, teeth gritted in anger as he cursed under his breath. Damn it, this can't end like this. Suddenly, he forced himself to his feet and declared, fine, I admit you are no coward. Inside, he thought, I do not want to use this. But I have to win this fight. With determination, he slammed both hands into the ground, furrowing his brows and shouting, let us see how you deal with this. A massive wooden figure suddenly emerged. The system immediately displayed Wood Golem, a golem refined by borrowing the power of the green forest and imparting life to an ancient log. From the stands, Guyoung was watching the fight live, her anger boiling over as she shouted, cheeky bastard, how can this be allowed? Why is a third-year's golem even here? Junghwa, that shameless jerk, Sung Jae, observing from afar, flinched at the outburst. Junghwa, sitting nearby with arms crossed, frowned and spoke, I did not think it was necessary to bring out a golem. But if it manages to take him down, then there is no issue. Kim Ho, hearing this, furrowed his brow slightly, a hint of dissatisfaction crossing his face. Guyoung, still on edge, gritted her teeth and thought worriedly, with so many eyes watching, he can't use fire. Should I try to stop him? Back on the battlefield, Jichol, grinning arrogantly, shouted after summoning his wooden golem, let us see if you can handle a golem, stop acting so smug. Kim Ho merely frowned slightly at Jichol's arrogant tone, saying nothing. Flashback to 2 days earlier in the Mana training room, a book lay open, posing a question, which type of supporter is the most useful? The answer depends on the situation. That is why there are so many types of supporters, healing, buffing, debuffing, and so on. But if you want to become a truly versatile supporter, there is no skill more suitable than this. Back to the present, Jichol's arrogant frown deepened as he declared, I will take you down in a single strike. Let us see what cheap tricks you have left. The wooden golem raised one massive arm high and slammed it down with tremendous force. Kim Ho swiftly dodged, springing into the air with a burst of power. Blue energy radiated from his legs as he thought, for someone aiming to be a wind element supporter like me. This is the optimal skill I can extract from a blank skill book. He appeared in front of the golem, swinging his arm to strike. Kim Ho did not hold back. He punched the golem square in the face, sending it crashing backward. The impact shattered the golem entirely, accompanied by Jichol's loud scream. While Kim Ho wore a triumphant expression after landing the blow. The system displayed the information about the technique, Wind Strike, imbues physical power with wind, enhanced by West Wind Blessing, amplified. Kim Ho emerged as the clear victor. Guyoung, unable to contain her excitement at the outcome, shouted from the stands, well done, that was incredible. Voices around them erupted. He defeated the golem. How the hell did he do that? Zhenghua, trembling as if holding back his anger, reluctantly reached into his pocket and handed over the promised item. Here, the VIP ticket, as I said. Kim Ho accepted it with a cheerful tone. Thanks a lot. I have one more request, Kim Ho continued calmly, it won't harm your side. Let us not release the replay of this match, alright? Zhenghua's jaw clenched in irritation, but he kept his composure. You have got a bit of a cunning streak. Fine, say what you want, he growled. Kim Ho gave a casual wink and replied, nothing for now. Just keep it ready for me if I ask later. Zhenghua sighed, agreeing coldly, fine, let it be. Watching Zhenghua walk away, Kim Ho thought to himself, I made him feel like he owes me, but keeping the replay secret is the real goal. Information about Wind Strike. The fewer who know, the better for me. Others soon approached. Hyunwoo, spotting Kim Ho, praised him, Kim, you did great. Kim Ho replied with a grin, perfect timing. Here, take it. The seasonal ticket I promised you, Hyunwoo said, handing him the ticket. Surprised, Hyunwoo asked, you already got it? Kim Ho exhaled lightly and smiled, I did promise, did not I? I said I would get it within 2 weeks. Guyoung, excited, threw an arm around his shoulder and exclaimed, you little devil, what deal did you make with Zhenghua? You really do not let anyone get the better of you. Kim Ho laughed awkwardly, you're too sharp, sis. Don't hang on me like that. And what about your request from before, she asked, letting go immediately. The one about the Magic Technology Club. He said he is really looking forward to meeting you. What do you think? Kim Ho placed his hands on his hips and smiled, perfect. Let us go meet him. Scene shifted to the #1 Magic Technology Workshop. Kim Ho opened the door, impressed internally. No wonder it is the top workshop. Totally different from workshop number 4 where I got that cube. He spoke aloud politely, excuse me. Someone turned to him immediately, you are Kim Ho, right? He nodded respectfully, yes, good. The person cut him off, I am Jae-sok. Guyoung already told me about you. Come inside and let us talk. Follow me. Kim Ho noted Jae-suk's hurried demeanor, in quite a rush. Jae-sok pressed on, I heard you completed that 10x10x10 cube, let us get straight to the point. That cube design belongs to our club. I do not want any unnecessary trouble, Kim Ho explained. No one else could have done it anyway. I just want to see it. Show me the completed work. Kim Ho calmly spoke up, sorry, but I no longer have that cube. Jae-suk's eyes widened in shock as he yelled, what? Where did it go? I already handed it over to the Nature Club, Kim Ho replied honestly. Seeing his plans foiled, Jae-sok let out an exasperated sigh and muttered, damn it, what a waste of time. I am leaving then. Suddenly, Kim Ho held out a sheet of paper and said with a sly tone, you think I came here empty-handed? Jae-suk's eyes narrowed in confusion as he stared at it. What is this? No way. The 10x10x10 cube design. His expression was one of complete astonishment. I did not expect someone crazy enough to meticulously record every single row. Wait, why is half of it missing? You have the rest, right? Kim Ho replied nonchalantly, of course I have the complete set. Without hesitation, Jae-sok pressed forward, get to the point. What do you want? Kim Ho furrowed his brow slightly, then smiled as he stated his request. Let me use the equipment in workshop number 1. Jae-sok immediately set a condition, only from midnight to dawn. We need it during the day. Kim Ho grinned. Sounds good. Jae-sok quickly snatched the remaining sheets from Kim Ho's hands and eagerly said, deal, now hand over the rest. And what do you think about joining our club? Jae-sok asked. Kim Ho laughed lightly, thanks, but I will have to decline. Jae-sok stood up, conceding with a wry smile, it is a shame to lose a talent like you, but I understand. Just keep using the extra gear in workshop number 4, and make sure you continue submitting designs like this. I am off now. Thanks again, Kim Ho replied with an amused grin, thank you. Straightforward as ever. After Jae-sok left, Kim Ho smiled to himself, the foundation is set. My ultimate weapon is ready. Meanwhile, in a hallway elsewhere in the academy, Sung Jae followed closely behind Zhenghua. Speaking seriously, you should reconsider expelling him from the club. Zhenghua scowled angrily. Why? Sung Jae quickly explained, how many first years can summon a golem, especially a third-year golem? But Zhenghua dismissed him, stating firmly, that does not change the fact that the honor of the Emerald Tower has been tarnished. Sung Jae frowned deeply, yes, my younger sibling went too far. But still. Was it really only my sibling who brought shame to the Emerald Tower? Junghwa retorted, shocked by the suggestion. Turning back, Junghwa clenched his teeth and demanded, "Is the disciplinary committee meddling in the internal affairs of the Emerald Tower?" He did not hold back and spoke firmly, "I expect you to judge fairly." Junghwa let out a sigh and asked, "What do you want?" Sung Jae responded calmly, "Just one chance." Junghwa narrowed his eyes, frowning, and said sternly, 2 months. I will make my decision based on Jichal's ranking over the next 2 months. Anything else? Sung Jae gave a slight nod and replied softly, "No, that is enough." Hearing this, Junghwa turned angrily and walked away, exhaling sharply as he did so. Now, only Sung Jae remained alone in the empty hallway. Suddenly, he turned his head and called out loudly, "Chunyi." The lightning mage froze in surprise at being noticed. Cautiously, she stepped forward, hesitant and flustered. "You knew." Sung Jae's tone was serious as he exposed her. "I saw you hiding behind those columns. You are not exactly stealthy. Since you have already heard everything, I probably do not need to explain further. Can you defeat Kim Ho in a one-on-one match?" Chunyi lowered her head slightly, replying softly, "I am not sure anymore." Sung Jae muttered under his breath, "Not sure, huh? Have you checked his hands?" he asked. Chunyi looked up, meeting his gaze with seriousness. "Yes, I checked thoroughly. Not a single scratch." Sung Jae frowned deeply, pondering silently. If he had used Hellfire Fist, there is no way it would have healed that fast. Was I wrong? But still, that look of complete disdain, hard to believe it is human. He let out a heavy sigh. "I am sorry. I troubled you." Chunyi, a little surprised, raised her head. Then, furrowing her brows with determination, she lifted the corners of her mouth and declared, "It is fine. I wanted to do it, so I will. I will catch him in the match." By the second week of week 3, the system screen suddenly displayed a notification, "Map, Random, Rules, 2 version 2 Deathmatch, Time Limit, 10 minutes. At the same time, Sudok looked over the students and spoke seriously. "This time, coordination is still as important as last week. But the goal is different. You may even notice flaws in teamwork that you have never paid attention to before. To address those shortcomings, the Academy has prepared a mentorship program. So, think carefully and make full use of this opportunity." That is all. At that moment, lines of information appeared simultaneously in front of them. Suddenly, Hyunwoo spoke up, "Kim Ho, have you signed up for the mentorship program yet?" Kim Ho immediately replied, "Already." There is no reason to hesitate. On his system, the text appeared, "Mentorship registration complete, Kim Ho." He then turned to Hyunwoo and encouraged him, "They will pair you with a high-ranking third-year student or a graduate, depending on your aptitude. Opportunities to learn from people like that do not come often, right?" Hyunwoo, encouraged by Kim Ho's words, immediately perked up and replied cheerfully, "Exactly, I will sign up too. Thanks for the suggestion." Next, Kim Ho looked toward the other side. "Curious, what about you, Seo Yane?" Only to see Yane slumped over the desk, exhausted, muttering, "So tired. I am sleepy already." Kim Ho exhaled softly and thought to himself, she has only just created the aura grenade, and only at a basic level. Seo Yane still has a lot to learn. This mentorship program is going to be very important for her, but is there any way to persuade her? Suddenly, Hyunwoo smiled and suggested, "Hey Kim Ho, do you want to partner with me this week?" Kim Ho did not refuse and replied cheerfully, "Sure, let us team up this time." Yane, overhearing the conversation, blinked in surprise. Then Yane sat up, grabbing Kim Ho's sleeve while rubbing her eyes and said softly, "I want to be on a team with you too." Seeing this, Kim Ho quickly proposed a solution. "How about this? Since there are 2 matches this week, why do not we split up and each of us take 1 match?" Standing between them with his arms crossed, he muttered helplessly, "So my decision does not even matter anymore." She immediately nodded in agreement, "Sounds reasonable." Hyunwoo then stood up energetically and said, "All right, I will go practice. You two go ahead." Kim Ho looked up and replied, "Yeah, see you tomorrow." The scene then shifted to the next day, another morning at the academy. Hyunwoo approached Kim Ho and spoke, "Sorry to keep you waiting." Kim Ho turned his head and replied, "I just got here too." Kim Ho widened his eyes in astonishment, thinking, what is going on? Her aura is even sharper than yesterday. Hyunwoo, still smiling, said, "I have been looking forward to this." Kim Ho stared at her, thinking, it seems her meridian is already upgraded to rank C. Faster than I expected. Then Hyunwoo asked excitedly, "By the way, How was pairing with Yane yesterday? Kim Ho scratched his head and sighed, hesitating. Well, we won, but... At that moment, the intense scenes from yesterday's match flashed before him. Kim Ho recalled the previous match, thinking to himself, yesterday's opponent was Hong Hyuna, the rising star of the Ruby Tower. I know Seo Yane is not yet a match for a rising star, but... He continued his train of thought. The outcome was even more one-sided than I expected. Meanwhile, alert sounds kept pinging, indicating Yane's status. Seo Yane 81%. Seo Yane 78%. Seo Yane 74%. Seeing this, Kim Ho sighed inwardly, so, what I feared has come true. The intense flames had restricted her attack range, and Kim Ho silently affirmed, Seo Yane has absolutely no defensive capability. He immediately launched forward with full force. With controlled strength, Kim Ho shattered the raging flames, startling both of them. He then directed his skill straight toward Jae-seok, lightly touching him with his hand. Instantly, Jae-seok was hurled backward, right before Hyuna's eyes. The staff was now aimed directly at her, and she went pale with fear. Standing ahead was Kim Ho, his expression cold and emotionless, eyes fixed unwaveringly on Hyuna. Back in the present, as Kim Ho waited for a match to appear on the system, he muttered to himself, I tried to end that match quickly, even advising her to join the mentorship program. A hint of frustration crept into his voice as he continued, but she did not seem interested at all. Hyunwoo, hearing the whole story, wiped sweat from his forehead with a wry smile. Sounds like a lot happened. Kim Ho exhaled deeply and spoke seriously. She will have to take a few hits before she really gets it. Hyunwoo, hearing this, hesitated. That intense, huh? Suddenly, Kim Ho was startled as the system alerted, match found. Hyunwoo's eyes lit up. I will show you the results of my training. The two of them stepped into the arena together. But at the sight before him, Kim Ho was momentarily stunned. Huh, what is going on here? Hyunwoo hesitated. This time our opponents are. At the same time, the system displayed their stats. Team Jang Sam, 572 points. Seo Yane, 741 points. Hyunwoo added, Seo Yane's team, Yane, seeing them, was equally surprised. Kim Ho smiled to himself, thinking, perfect timing. This is the chance for Yane to realize how weak her defense really is. Hyunwoo glanced at him and asked, think we can win? Kim Ho, brimming with confidence, smiled and replied, of course. Then the signal sounded, start, both immediately dashed forward. Kim Ho smirked, leave Seo Yane to me. Hyunwoo nodded seriously, got it. Yane, noticing the situation, immediately sprang into action. Kim Ho thought, she is throwing smoke bombs. Just as I predicted. But that did not slow them down. Looking at the pair, he called out arrogantly, sorry, but it won't do you any good. She did not just stand there to take it. Yane immediately drew her gun and fired 2 shots toward the pair. Kim Ho casually raised his hand, effortlessly dodging the attack. He then closed the distance, standing directly in front of Yane's barrel. Without a hint of hesitation, he struck her hand with his staff. Then, with a flicker of excitement, he prepared to launch a counterattack. But as his punch neared Yane's face, he suddenly paused. Instantly, he tapped her forehead with a finger, making her flinch and let out a small yelp. After the tap, Kim Ho smirked lightly. What is the matter? Want to continue? Yane, having taken the hit, sat on the ground, clutching her head. She then turned away, furrowed her brow, and sulkily declared, I give up. Seeing her reaction, Kim Ho smiled inwardly. Looks like her pride took quite a hit. Glancing behind him, he muttered, now, let us see the other side. The other two were still engaged in an intense duel. Watching their swordplay, he thought to himself, previously, Shin Byung-chul mentioned there is a hidden talent in the Guild Alliance. That unusual movement of the right hand. I found it suspicious from the start, but... Suddenly, he called out loudly, wait, both of you, stop. The two turned in confusion to look at him. Furrowing his brows, he spoke seriously, I know you are holding back. Can you fight seriously? Jang Sam shook his head resolutely. I do not know what you are basing that on, but I am fighting seriously. Kim Ho winked and offered, if you are worried about the replay, we can set it to private. And I can give you a little incentive. He then spoke in a deep tone, presenting his condition, the shadowless spirit. If you win, I will give you the information. Jang Sam's eyes widened in astonishment. Kim Ho thought smugly to himself, if he values it enough to hide his true strength, he certainly won't pass up this clue. Jang Sam, sweating, stammered, how do you know about that? Kim Ho arched an eyebrow, smiling. I already said if you win, you get the information. Hearing this, Jang Sam gripped his sword and said, if you dare take it that far, then I will play along, just as you want. He got into a ready stance, preparing for the fight. Hyunwoo furrowed his brow as he took in the scene before him. In an instant, his gaze has completely changed, he thought, and then squared his shoulders, firmly declaring, I will give it my all too. Jang Sam exhaled slightly at those words but did not hesitate for a moment. He immediately thrust his razor-sharp sword straight toward Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo took the hit, grimacing and letting out a sharp exclamation while the system registered, Go Hyunwoo 87%. Still relentless, Jang Sam swung again and shouted fiercely, it is not over yet. Hyunwoo's health continued to drop under the onslaught, Go Hyunwoo 73%. Go Hyunwoo 68%. Despite the relentless attacks, he gritted his teeth and held his ground. Meanwhile, Jang Sam's eyes glinted with deadly intent. I will finish this with this move, he resolved, aligning the tip of his sword directly toward Hyunwoo. The sharp point aimed straight at Hyunwoo's eyes, the tension in the air thickening with every heartbeat. Suddenly, Hyunwoo's eyes narrowed, and he began shifting the path of his sword, catching Jang Sam completely off guard. He then spoke in a low, commanding tone, flowing strike, torrent stream. Immediately, a powerful attack surged forward. The intense energy dissipated in an instant, leaving the tip of Hyunwoo's sword broken. Jang Sam's weapon also splintered into several pieces from the impact. Outside, Kim Ho had been watching the entire battle. Stepping forward, he calmly spoke, enough. That is far enough. Both of you, rest here. His hand moved slightly, generating a soft wave of air around them. The system then announced the final result. Score, Kim Ho, Go Hyunwoo win. Seo Yane, Jang Sam lose. Both opponents inhaled the mist Kim Ho had created and collapsed to the ground. Looking down at Hyunwoo, Kim Ho muttered to himself, according to the system, since I am still standing, we win. But in truth, this is more like a loss. The moment Jang Sam unleashed his full strength, I could not defend, it was already decided then. Clearly, I am still a bit short of reaching the prospective peak. But this is just the beginning. After a brief period of unconsciousness, Jang Sam finally opened his eyes in shock. Glancing at the system screen, he hesitated before asking, so? I lost. Kim Ho responded calmly, as you can see. Sitting upright, Jang Sam commented, it is a bit regrettable, but let it be known it was a good match. Kim Ho nodded in agreement. Yes, Go Hyunwoo would say the same. Jang Sam then rubbed his shoulder curiously, asking, before leaving, I want to know, did my skill show too much? Kim Ho smiled lightly and answered honestly, yeah, a little. Your sword hand seems slightly stiff. And, looking too ordinary also contributed, Kim Ho added. Jang Sam, sweating, frowned and asked, too ordinary makes it obvious, what do you mean? Pointing directly at him with a grin, Kim Ho explained, think about it, what kind of place is the Dragon Slayer Academy? Jang Sam pondered for a moment, stroking his chin, then nodded slowly, it is true. This is where masters from all over the world gather. In a place like that, being ordinary actually stands out. That is useful. I will remember it. And one more thing about the Yulin Vo An, Kim Ho continued. Jang Sam's eyes flicked up, anticipating something. Kim Ho crossed his arms and said, I wanted to win first before asking. Then, with a grin, he added, yes, that is right. So how about a rematch sometime? Jang Sam, cheerful, responded, sure, anytime. After the battle, they all returned together. Hyunwoo spoke hesitantly, I feel like I just made a fool of myself. I have no face left to show. Kim Ho glanced at him and sincerely commented, you opened a gap with your probing move, and the final decisive play was very succinct. Picking up his sword, he then added softly, one thing I am still concerned about weapons. We can't keep dodging forever. Kim Ho looked puzzled and said, it is simple, just use a better weapon. Hyunwoo, hearing this, groaned in frustration. Embarrassing. My finances are not exactly abundant. Kim Ho then held up a book and said, weapons are not only bought with money. Hyunwoo immediately quieted down and glanced down at it. How many points do you have? Hyunwoo quickly checked the system and replied, I think around 5,000 points. Kim Ho nodded appreciatively. That is more than enough. Following Kim Ho's guidance, Hyunwoo proceeded with the purchase. Kim Ho next instructed, get an E-rank longsword and a D-rank longsword. The system confirmed the transactions. Item purchased, D-rank longsword, 1200 points. Item purchased, E-rank longsword, 700 points. Item purchased, heat catalyst, X3, 3000 points. Kim Ho continued, with the remaining points, buy 3 more heat catalyst vials. Hand them over to me first. After buying the items, Hyunwoo handed the 3 vials to Kim Ho, curiosity written on his face. What is this catalyst for? Kim Ho accepted the vials and explained, it is a crafting material. I will make some useful items for you. That is it for today, focus on recovery. Hyunwoo smiled and nodded. Thanks, Kim Ho, for everything. That night, Kim Ho walked down the hallway, thinking to himself, this week's sparring matches are done. Maybe I should prepare materials in the workshop. Might as well make the items I will give to Go Hyunwoo too. He pushed open a door and greeted, hello there. The blue-haired boy inside jumped slightly. Sure. The boy quickly returned to his work while Kim Ho leaned back slightly. Reflecting, he got scolded by Bong Jae-sok last time over the cube design. Probably does not like me poking around everywhere. So I feel a bit guilty. But this time, I will just take the liberty. Kim Ho then used his abilities on the boy. The system simultaneously announced, target skill registered, magic technique B, copying skill, 2 version 2, magic technique B. Theft B. Kim Ho thought to himself, now that we have world force, Hummingbird can take a break. The cube design luck might be gone, but this place is perfect for gathering usable materials. These are unfinished items, failed for some reason. In other words, the crafting is still intact. Normally, it is easier to get new materials than dismantle items. I mean, usually. Kim Ho glanced at the items in his hands and smiled faintly. He then sat down at the table and busied himself with the task, catching the attention of the Magic Technology Club member nearby. The boy removed his glasses and asked hesitantly, what are you doing? Kim Ho replied while working, I am dismantling them, collecting some materials. The boy, sweating with curiosity, asked, if you do not mind. Can I watch? Kim Ho responded cheerfully, sure, go ahead. The blue-haired boy picked up an item and marveled in surprise. You dismantled it and all the materials came out perfectly. Looks like it is brand new. He wondered to himself, maybe I should try crafting a batch myself. Kim Ho, glancing at him, let a small, confident smile curve his lips. Suddenly, he spoke up, Senior, do you want to trade for these materials? The boy's eyes lit up with excitement. Really, I would love that. What do you need? Without hesitation, Kim Ho listed several items he needed. A cooling set with a central axle, reinforced steel wire, and... The boy quickly interjected, but this... What if Bong Jae-sok starts nagging again? Seeing the worried expression, Kim Ho reassured him, just trading the materials should be fine. If you are still concerned, this time I will ask for permission directly. The Magic Technology Club member immediately pulled out his phone and said, Really, should I send a message then? I see it has been read but no reply yet, Kim Ho said with mild frustration. He must be busy. We will have to wait. The boy hesitated. If you say it is nothing special, then okay. What is that? He jumped when Jae-sok suddenly burst through the door. Bong Jae-sok. While the blue-haired boy was still startled, he quickly approached and asked, Did you dismantle this? Perfect timing. Take a look at this. It is a failed item, but it cost quite a lot in materials. A few items immediately appeared on the table. Jae-sok then looked at Kim Ho. So, you managed to take it apart, Kim Ho, arms crossed, observed calmly. This will take quite a bit of time. The blue-haired boy fidgeted behind them. Curiosity written all over his face. I know it will take time. I will pay accordingly, Jae-sok said plainly. Kim Ho seized the opportunity and smiled lightly. I also need the materials, so let me receive my pay in items. Jae-sok immediately agreed. Send me the list, I will prepare them right away. No rush, take your time. Just message me when you need something, Kim Ho replied cheerfully. He raised his hand in a small salute and then turned to leave. At the same time, the blue-haired boy hesitated, then pointed at himself and asked, By the way, could you help me with one more thing? Kim Ho did not hesitate. What is it? The boy pointed toward a machine in the corner. I have something I need from over there. Could you dismantle it for me? Kim Ho looked in the direction he was pointing and replied calmly. No problem. The club member smiled and promised, Thanks, I will do my best to give you everything you need. The scene shifted to the next morning, and Kim Ho's voice could be heard, It is already morning. The rest will have to wait until after class. As he stepped into the classroom, he thought to himself, there is still some time before class. A quick nap beforehand. Yeah, that should work. But the sight in front of him made him blink in surprise. Seeing Yane asleep at her desk, he furrowed his brow in confusion. "Seo Yane, why is she here so early today? She vanished without a word yesterday." He approached her and asked, "Why are you here so early? You have not eaten breakfast yet, right? Want something to eat?" Yane flinched slightly at the sound of his voice, but did not lift her head. Kim Ho raised an eyebrow, thinking to himself, as expected, she has not fully recovered yet. He continued, explaining gently, "Yesterday's match was a bit one-sided, right? I only did it to show you your weaknesses." Yane stayed silent, keeping her head down. "Maybe you are starting to realize how vulnerable your combat style is when your position is exposed. Now that your mana foundation is stable, why not try investing in some support skills?" At this, Yane finally lifted her head, asking curiously, "You will be tutoring me personally?" Kim Ho placed a bag of bread on the desk and smiled lightly. "I would like to tutor you myself, but for this part, learning from another marksman will be more effective. Even if it is a bit troublesome, you should accept the mentorship." Yane picked up a piece of bread and replied, "All right, I will do it." At that moment, Hyunwoo arrived, eyes lighting up as he exclaimed, "Miss Seo signed up too, good decision." Kim Ho looked up and asked after him, "Go Hyunwoo, are you feeling better?" Hyunwoo replied enthusiastically, "Thanks to you, Kim Ho, I am back to my best state. My body's fine, but I am worried about the weapon I bought yesterday. I plan to test it in the remaining matches." Kim Ho handed him an item with a smile and suggested, "All right then, go ahead and use this as well." Hyunwoo eyed the item in Kim Ho's hand, puzzled. Is not this just a paperclip?" Kim Ho immediately clarified, "It looks like an ordinary paperclip, but it is actually an item that protects a weapon's durability." At the same time, the system displayed the item's details. Durable clip, D, automatically restores weapon durability. He quickly attached it to the inside of his shirt and said, "For the remaining duels, try using it together with your newly acquired weapon." Hyunwoo and the others then stepped into the match arena, and the system displayed, "Score, Go Hyunwoo, Bak Kung Han Tuyat vs Young Suji, Park Nari, 100%, 100%. Looking at their opponents, Hyunwoo mentally noted, "Miss Park Nari, the hope of the natural club. Kim Ho warned me to be careful of that familiar beast." Nari patted Buma on the head and said softly, "Buma, get ready." At the signal, it leapt off her shoulder, immediately transforming into a fierce tiger. Nari thrust her hand forward and shouted, "Go!" Buma obeyed, slashing its claws toward Hyunwoo. He raised his sword to block, frowning as he yelled, "Miss Bak Kung, now!" Bak Kung responded instantly, unleashing her technique. She struck forcefully, Snow Soul Palm, her hand collided with Buma. In sweat beading on her brow, she gritted her teeth at the beast. Buma glared back with sharp eyes, and the system reported, "Park Nari 87%. In a sudden swipe, Buma's claws struck Bak Kung, causing her to cry out in pain. On Hyunwoo's side, he struggled to defend, shouting in alarm, "Miss Bak Kung." With a single blow, Buma destroyed the sword in his hands. Hyunwoo groaned, thinking, with an E-rank weapon, this is the limit. He quickly stepped back, sweating nervously. "At this rate, we do not stand a chance." Bak Kung nodded in agreement. "I agree. Let us try a different approach." The system then updated, Park Nari 100%. Hyunwoo realized the strategy. It seems she is letting the familiar take the front line to recover continuously. Meanwhile, the caster is completely exposed, a tactic relying entirely on the familiar. He shared a glance with Bak Kung. If that is the case, strike directly at the source. The two of them ignored Buma and dashed straight toward Nari. At the same time, Suji raised a pendant and declared grimly, "No chance of winning." "I anticipated a situation like this." Nari immediately swung her hand and unleashed Gaia Barrier. A thick wall of vines erupted, blocking the path of the two attackers. Bak Kung refused to back down, frowning as she cast her technique, Glacial Soul Palm. At the same time, Hyunwoo slashed with his sword, shouting, "Rapid flow." After attacking, he furrowed his brow, calculating quickly in his mind, it is really tough to penetrate. The next strike has to deal damage beyond magical defense. In a single blow. Suddenly, Buma lunged out of nowhere and bit into Bak Kung. Her scream of pain echoed throughout the arena. The system then displayed the final result. Score, Go Hyunwoo, Bak Kung Han Tuyat vs Young Suji, Park Nari, lose, win. The scene shifted to the next morning. Hyunwoo's voice rang out, "I let you see such an embarrassing performance. Kim Ho, reviewing the match, reassured him, not at all. Facing a rising star and performing this well is already impressive. Hyunwoo asked seriously, Kim Ho, if you were in my situation, what would you do? Kim Ho responded thoughtfully, it is not really about strategy or technique. The difference in stats is just too large. Especially regarding equipment. He reflected privately, Park Nari is a rising star fully supported by the Natural Club. Her skill range and attributes are extensive. Even her life force recently underwent enhancements through transactions with me. She is equipped with all sorts of items from head to toe. Hyunwoo wiped sweat from his brow and said solemnly, hearing that, losing makes sense. The opponent is not only strong but also meticulously prepared. In his mind, he wondered, maybe I should discuss this. Kim Ho then spoke with a serious tone. You can't raise your stats to match Park Nari, but that does not mean there is no countermeasure. Hyunwoo's eyes brightened, and he asked, so, there is a way. Kim Ho grinned and said, magic sword. For top-tier swordsmen, this is a mandatory debuff item. Hyunwoo, sweating, murmured with furrowed brows, magic sword. I did not even know such an item existed. Another lesson from Kim Ho. Kim Ho then pointed to the clip on Hyunwoo's chest and said, forget the magic sword for now. The priority is preventing your weapon from breaking. Focus on collecting artifacts that enhance durability for B-rank weapons and above. Hyunwoo lowered his head, hesitating, B-rank, that won't be easy to find. Kim Ho gave a thumbs up and smiled encouragingly, you might farm them in the underground dungeon of Dungeon Dong. But since it is the week of duels, it is not like you can't go down there. Hyunwoo looked at Kim Ho and reported, anyway, next week we won't be allowed into the dungeon levels. Kim Ho frowned in confusion, why's that? Hyunwoo replied frankly, because we do not have the qualifications yet. Kim Ho nodded thoughtfully, the underground levels of Dungeon Dong are different from the surface, they are real combat. They can't just throw first-year freshmen into life or death battles. So, right now, there really is not a way. Hyunwoo let out a low whistle, yeah, that sounds tough for now. Kim Ho set his cup down and added calmly, I mean officially. Officially. Hyunwoo hesitated, then seeing Kim Ho's slight pause, he immediately guessed, you mean sneaking in is fine. Kim Ho pulled out his phone with a smile. There is a courier service for moments like this. Hyunwoo's eyes lit up, you mean, Shin. Kim Ho sent a message and confirmed, yeah, he will be here soon. Just then, a voice rang out, you two here. Byung-chul appeared, grinning, so, how can I help? Kim Ho answered promptly, we plan to enter the dungeon for a bit. Byung-chul nodded, I was thinking of going Monday night. Kim Ho glanced at him with a faint smile. Monday night, perfect timing. Byung-chul then asked, which dungeon number? Kim Ho quickly replied, number 388. Byung-chul pulled out a notebook and pen and began flipping through the pages. Let us see, number 388. Feathered Serpent Shrine, D rank, right, 4-person dungeon. Who is going in? Hyunwoo and Kim Ho exchanged a silent look. Kim Ho pointed to Hyunwoo. It will just be the two of us. Byung-chul wiped sweat from his brow, hesitating. Are you sure? Anything that goes wrong, I am responsible. Kim Ho's gaze was firm. We won't die. If anything goes wrong, we will pull out immediately. Hyunwoo nodded, trusting completely. And I trust Kim Ho. Byung-chul quickly jotted down their names. Alright, then it is settled. I will prep for Monday night. Kim Ho asked smoothly, what about payment for this favor? Byung-chul looked down, smiling. Between us, no need for payment. Plus, we still have that debt from the Ben Wave incident. Consider it settled with this. Kim Ho's eyes widened slightly, thinking, I did not expect him to offer repayment on his own. Byung-chul added honestly, to be frank. I have only been to the dungeon once myself. Kim Ho crossed his arms, frowning in exasperation, so that is why he is not familiar yet. Then Kim Ho spoke reassuringly, it is fine. Even if it is your first time, just do not be careless. Byung-chul scratched his head and forced a smile, replying, don't worry, I will give it my all. Next, Kim Ho suggested, while we are at it, why not gain some extra experience at dungeon number 104 as well? Byung-chul flipped through his notebook, hesitating, if it is number 104. That is a B-rank Black Serpent dungeon. It is in the deep area, so with my current level, I can't help much. Kim Ho leaned back, arms crossed, speaking calmly, I know. Try discussing it with the department head. Byung-chul tucked the notebook away and nodded, that should be doable. I will ask my sister about it then. Alright, see you Monday night. Thanks for everything. Kim Ho turned to Hyunwoo, asking, shall we plan our approach? Hyunwoo picked up his cup, curious, sure. What do I need to do? Kim Ho immediately laid out the plan. First, we enter the scheduled D-rank dungeon, the Feathered Serpent Shrine. We will look for a weapon for you there, and I will gather some loot for myself. After that, we will have a few days to negotiate with the Thief Club about the B-rank Black Serpent and get the necessary items ready. Deep area dungeons are dangerous. Even a small mistake can cost lives. Hyunwoo wiped sweat from his brow, replying, I am mentally prepared. Kim Ho opened the system interface and said seriously, your role is crucial. Skill is obvious, but coordination is equally essential. You must understand the dungeon as thoroughly as I do. 2 guidebooks immediately appeared before Hyunwoo's eyes. Surprised, he exclaimed, these. Kim Ho explained calmly, these are the full walkthrough guides for both dungeons. Learn them by heart, not a single word missed. He slammed his hand on the books to emphasize the demand.